Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Enjoy the fanfic, and let's begin part 1. Kaden. Gukakyu no Jutsu was just many of the jutsus being thrown out on the battlefield. But they all did not do any damage to the strongest of the Daibiju. It seemed that the Kyuubi has decided that today would be the day that it would attack the village. The Kyuubi was first thought to be a myth. Nobody ever believed that it existed except for a select few. So when it suddenly appeared out of the freaking sky and started attacking, many people were surprised. It started the attack many miles from the village, and yet it was still seen by the villagers. It was that big. None of our jutsus are working, yelled a random Junin. It doesn't matter, we have to keep this demon from getting to the ville, yelled another Junin before he was crushed by one of Kyuubi's tails. Stand back, yelled an Anbu captain as he and his team did the same hand signs at the same time before slamming their hands on the floor. Each yelling their jutsu. Raiden. Shichu Shibari. When it was yelled, 4 pillars of earth rose from the ground surrounding the Kyuubi, then lighting charged through the earth to stun the Kyuubi. They then did more hand signs, then yelled Doden. Oto Shibuya, and as soon as the Kyuubi was covered by the lid, it exploded, sending the pieces flying outward and even hitting some other ninja, including the Anbu that cast the jutsu. We got to keep this up until the Yondaime arrives. Hokage Tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Kami no Shinobi and the Sandaime of Konohagakure, was watching Minato Namikaze, the Kiroi Senku and the Yondaime of Konohagakure, pace around his office with Jiraiya, the Gama Sennin, self-proclaimed super pervert and the sensei to Minato Namikaze. Minato-kun, don't you think you should at the hospital with your wife? She did just go into labor. Sarutobi questioned Minato, who was panicking over to either to go fight the Kyuubi for a while or go to the hospital and deal with his laboring wife. He made his decision. Are you crazy? Until she is finished delivering that baby, I'm not going near the hospital. You know what you should be doing? Jiraiya asked. What? You should be trying to figure out if you really want to make your son into a Jinchuriki. Are you sure you didn't find another safer way to get rid of the demon? At this he stopped pacing and looked his sensei into the eye and said, there is no other way. The only solution is the Shisho Fuin with Hake no Fuin Shiki to keep the Kyuubi sealed and the Shiki Fujin to get the Kyuubi's soul there. No other seal would be strong enough to hold the demon back. Alright, you don't think I already know about the power those seals have? Jiraiya held up his hands in the surrender position. The Sandaime was thinking this whole time and just now decided to voice his thoughts. Well, how about I do the sealing? Are you really going to leave your son fatherless? As soon as he said that, a young Anbu member appeared in the room, bowing his head. He looked to be about 15 years old with gravity-defying silver hair, wearing a dog mask. This was Kakashi Hatake, the Sharingan no Kakashi, son of the Shiroi no Kiba and student to the Yondaime Hokage. Inu, what are you doing here? I told you to guard Kushina-chan. Why are you here anyway? Sorry Hokage sensei, but she told me to come and get you because she is finished and wants you to see your son. When he was done with his sentence and looked up, he found the room empty. Okay. He mumbled as he shunshined out the vacant office. Hospital, Kushina's room. As Minato appeared in a yellow flash from putting a Hiraishin seal on his wife's ankle, his ears were assaulted by the giggling of a baby. When Kushina saw her husband, she smiled. Hey Naru-chan, your father is finally here. See, he is right there, she said to her baby while throwing in some baby gibberish at random intervals, causing baby Naruto to giggle more. Hey Kushi-chan, how are you feeling? Well, I'm a little tired from bringing Naruto into the world. I'm starting to feel a little sleepy also. As this was going on, Jiraiya, Sarutobi, and Kakashi Inu walked into the room and stood around Kushina. Minato then asked the question that would seal the fate of little Naruto. Kushina-chan, can I hold him? Sure you can. Here is your father, Naruto-chan. As Naruto was passed to him, he started to really get a good look at his son. He had a patch of blonde hair and big cerulean blue eyes that just shined his innocent. Kushina smiled as she watched her husband play with his child. Then an Anbu appeared in the room and said, Hokage-sama, the Kyuubi is getting closer to the village, you have to join the battle. Okay, I'll be right there. He then started walking out with his son still in his arms. Minato-kun, aren't you going to give me my son back? Questioned the concerned Kushina. I'm sorry Kushina-chan, but I need him for my jutsu, whispered Minato, but even though he whispered this, everyone still heard it. You need him for what? Get back here, you baka, and give me back my son. As she was yelling, her heart started to pump erratically. Everybody was worried for Kushina. Kushina, you need to calm down or you're going to have a heart attack. How could you tell me not to worry? You seen that baka walk out of here. What are you doing here anyway? Go get my son back. And when they left, she started to go into cardiac arrest, but it was too late as they all left to get her son back, and no one was there to warn the nurses of this dreadful event. Cave near battlefield. The Yondaime appeared in the previously arranged lit room and started to prepare his son for the sealing. He got the ink from his robes and started to draw the seal on his son's stomach, but kept messing up because Naruto kept giggling and moving around until he finished 5 minutes later. His personal squad of Anbu appeared and received orders to wait and protect Naruto until the end of the sealing with the Sandaime who just appeared in the cave, along with Jiraiya and Kakashi. Minato, didn't you hear your wife? She was going crazy. If she doesn't calm down, then she is most likely going to die. Jiraiya said to his student. Even though Minato heard it, he didn't pay any attention. He was all serious and told Jiraiya to summon Gamabunta so he could conserve his energy. Jiraiya was reluctant at first, but a glare from Minato and a hurry up made him do it. When Gamabunta was summoned, he spotted the Kyuubi easily. Oh hell no, I am not fighting the Kyuubi, are you out of your mind? When the Yondaime jumped on top of his head and explained that he needed to get close to the Kyuubi to seal it. And I need you to protect me while I do the hand signs. Come on Bunta, I need your help on this one. Do this for me as a last wish, pleaded Minato as he was literally on his knees begging the giant toad to help him. Alright, I'll help you, but we're going to have a last drink right now. I'm sorry Bunta, but I don't have any sake with me. Minato apologized to the toad summon. Could you guys hurry up, or the Kyuubi is gonna reach the village? Yelled Jiraiya so they could hurry up. When that was said, Gamabunta jumped towards the Kyuubi. Jiraiya, when this is over, I need you to take Naruto back to his mother. Sure sensei. Battlefield. At the battlefield there was bodies of the dead everywhere. They were all either crushed, burned, eaten and then spit out, or simply ashes. And that is what the Yondaime Hokage seen when he got there. The Yondaime is here, we're saved. Yelled a Chunin ninja as he seen the Hokage appear on his summon. Everyone fall back and let me handle the rest, you all did a great job at keeping the Kyuubi away from the village. Now leave this to me. Yelled Minato as he got ready to have his last battle with the strongest of the Biju. Finally the leader of this pathetic village shows up. Where have you been, Ninjin? Were you scared that badly? Said the Kyuubi as his tails hit the ground, causing earthquakes to occur. Well, of course you were. All should be scared of the mighty Kyuubi no Kitsune. Now die. Kyuubi said as he charged the toad. Gamabunta acted fast and jumped over the raging Kitsune and sent a water bullet at it. But it didn't work as one of the Kyuubi's tails hit the water bullet and sent one of its own fire bullets at the toad in the air. Bunta, yet again thinking fast, grabbed his sword and adding chakra sliced the fire bullet in half, causing it to miss them entirely. I didn't think that would really work, thought Bunta. This is intense. I didn't even start my hand signs yet, thought Minato as the battle began. He then began his hand signs, make sure he didn't make a mistake in the long sequence. And Minato was right, the battle was intense. Bunta was just using his blade and his reflexes to fight the Kyuubi as the Kyuubi was sending fireballs the size of the Hokage monument at the toad, who kept jumping everywhere. You sure do jump around a lot. Why don't you stay still? Yelled the Kyuubi as one of his tails hit Gamabunta right in the face, making blood shoot out of the wound. Fortunately or unfortunately for the Kyuubi, Minato finished his last seal and screamed, "Now be sealed Shiki Fuujin." As bright flash illuminated the night sky. Cave near battlefield. Jiraiya, Sarutobi, Kakashi, and the rest of the Anbu watched as the two huge creatures battled, and were amazed. Why? Because they were fast. The whole battle was about 5 minutes before a flash of light blinded them. Sarutobi regained his sight sense just in time to witness a flood of evil red chakra enter the cave and into baby Naruto, causing him to scream and cry, very loudly, I might add. When it was finished, he looked at the child and noticed some new features. Naruto now had 6 identical marks going across his cheek, making them look like whiskers, the whiskers of a fox. And the boy's eyes that were once blue as the ocean, were now red before it mixed together, making his eyes a dark purple color. Also the tips of his hair were as red as the kitsune's fur. As Sarutobi and the rest watched this happen, they believed that the demon might already be trying to escape. Jiraiya checked the seal and see if the Kyuubi is trying to escape. The Sandaime urgently said to the Toad Sage. After many minutes of checking the seal, he finally said, "It's alright, I think this how the demons tell us who is sealed in who. Like in my travels I met another Jinchuriki that had a bull tattoo on his face, that told me that he was the Eight Tails Jinchuriki. I don't care, he is a demon now. Get the demon baby out of my sight and to his mother. I'll go get Minato-kun's body and take it to the morgue to have it cremated. Why are you still standing here, go?" He yelled before jumping towards the battlefield. He doesn't have to yell at me. Jiraiya thought. Kakashi, get the boy and let's go. The rest of you are all dismissed. Jiraiya said as he and Kakashi left. Hi, said all the Anbu as they too left the, now empty, cave. Battlefield. As Sarutobi appeared on the battlefield exactly where the Kyuubi was just a minute ago. Damn demon destroys everything around it and then leaves without cleaning anything. Thought Sarutobi as he scoped the grounds, seeing all the bodies littering the ground around him. He then found the body of his, now dead, successor in one of the massive paw prints of the oversized kitsune. It would seem like he was crushed by the kitsune if he wasn't flat like a pancake like some of the other bodies. Damn, what happened to you, Minato-kun? Is this what you look like after you give your soul to the Shinigami? Solemnly thought Sarutobi as he picked up the body and shunshined back to the village, heading towards the morgue at the hospital. Hospital, with Jiraiya and Kakashi. When Jiraiya and Kakashi arrived at the hospital, they witnessed some more chaos. The whole hospital was in disarray as everybody was running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Kakashi grabbed a nearby running doctor and asked him what everybody's problem was. What, you didn't hear? Kushina Uzumaki just suddenly dies and everybody is panicking because she was just fine a minute ago. But they could barely hear it as everyone was screaming and making a lot of noise, so with a heavy dose of killer intent to get everybody's attention, he said, "Would all of you shut up? You must all be rookie doctors to be panicking right now. This is a hospital, shut up. There are people trying to sleep and get better. And they can't do that with all of this noise." Kakashi yelled to everybody as they all calmed down and started to focus on their jobs, scared shitless of the Anbu at the entrance of the hospital. Kakashi then turned his attention back to the doctor in his hands and said, "You can get back to work now." As he let him go, reached into his pouch and pulled out his book and started walking to Kushina's room to see if they took her to the morgue. Jiraiya and even Naruto had sweat drops on the back of their heads at Kakashi's behavior. "Wow, that was weird. Well, I'm taking you to Sarutobi sensei," said Jiraiya as he shunshined to the Hokage's office before leaving Naruto there with a note for his sensei. 2 hours later, after burning the bodies of the Minato and his secret wife and the rest of the dead, brave ninja of Konoha, Sarutobi, the now reinstated Hokage, walked into his office to find the object of his anger in his office, the little baby Naruto, and a note for him. As picked it up and read it, he became even angrier. "Dear Sarutobi sensei, I'm sorry that I left Naruto here with you like this. It's just that I can't be with him anymore. I know you have mixed feelings about Naruto, but I ask you that, please don't take your anger out on him. He is innocent after all." And show. He burned the letter after the word innocent. He would have read more, but he was angry that Jiraiya would do this to him, knowing that he hated this cubified little boy in his office right now. Does this little monster look innocent? No, he is not. He is just like the Kyuubi with those whisker-like marks on his face. So when an Anbu appeared in his office stating that an emergency council meeting was taking place and he needed to attend, he got up and got Naruto and strolled to the office with no regrets about what was going to happen to the little boy. In the chambers where the council meets were a group of some of the most important and influential individuals that are within the village. There was the civilian council that dealt with the economy of the village, like merchant traders and owners of some of the most important business owners. And then there is the Shinobi Council that is made up of the heads of all the clans inside of the village. Those clans consisted of the Uchiha, Hyuga, Inuzuka, Aburame, Akamichi, Nara, Yamanaka, and the ever-absent Senju. The leader of the Uchiha clan is named Uchiha Fugaku, and he is a ruthless man. Possess his clan's famous Sharingan, which has made the clan both famous and feared. He is also the father of Itachi and Sasuke Uchiha. Not only is he the head of the Uchiha clan, but this 32-year-old Junin is also the leader of Konoha's military police force, which is clan founded. Next we have as Hyuga Hiyashi. He too is a ruthless and stoic individual. He like the rest of his clan consider themselves royalty. Because he like the rest of his clan is gifted and possess the all-seeing eyes, the Byakugan. His clan are the rivals to the Uchiha clan, claiming that the Byukugan is the strongest of the three Dujutsu to grace the elemental nations, thus triumphant over the Sharingan. He is going to be the father of his future daughter Hyuga Hinata, as soon as his wife goes into labor. He is a 34-year-old Junin that is the head of his family's main branch. Next is Inazuka Sume, the fiery mother of Inazuka Hana and Inazuka Kiba. She has fang-like marks on her face, signifying that she has bonded with a canine in her clan. She is a 28-years-old special Junin of her village. By her side is her companion Kuromaru. He is one of the strongest and intelligent of his canine species because of his ability to speak, literally speak like say, hi, and go yourselves. Then we have Aburame Shibi. He is strong and very logical in everything, like the rest of his clan. Like his son Aburame Shino, his body is also inhabited by the destruction bugs called Kikai, which allows him and his clan to absorb the chakra from his enemies, track his enemies, and utterly destroy his enemies completely. His is considered one of the strongest people in the village because of this. He is a 28-year-old Junin. Next is Akamichi Shuza. He is part of the famous Ino Shika Cho trio, made famous for their acts in the Third Ninja War. He is a big-boned, large individual that is strong and cares for people, just as much as he cares for food in which he gets his strength from. He is the father of Akamichi Choji. He specializes in his clan's multi-body techniques and is a 26-year-old Junin. Then we have Nara Shikaku. He is part of the famous Ino Shika Cho trio, made famous for their acts in the Third Ninja War. He, like all men in his clan, including his son Nara Shikamaru, have very high IQ levels but are too lazy to use it and less motivated, very motivated. He specializes in his clan's shadow techniques and is a 26-year-old Junin. And finally the last member of the Shinobi Council is Yamanaka Inoichi. He is the last member of the Ino Shika Cho trio, made famous for their acts in the Third Ninja War. Wow, are you tired of hearing that? He is an intelligent person and the only one in his group to have a daughter named Yamanaka Ino. He specializes in his clan's mind, body techniques and is a 26-year-old Junin. And the last members that make up the total council is the elder members, and as you can guess, they are very old. These are the people that have fought through many wars and have come out alive, they just don't know when to die. We have one of Sarutobi's genin teammates, Udatane Kaharu. And she is 56 years old and tries to manipulate her teammate the Sandame, along with her other teammate Mitokado Homura, 56 years old. And Shimura Danzo, 56 years old, his rival for the Hokage title. Now back to the story. Right now the council chambers was very noisy as the civilians on the council wouldn't shut up. They were screaming about who would be Hokage now that the Yondaime was gone. And they, as in Haruno Isari, the mother of Haruno Sakura. She kept making noise about who going to be Hokage and when she could go get some beauty sleep and some other stupid things that were getting on everybody's nerves. So when the Sandame entered into the room she was immediately quieted by him. Now this meeting can finally begin. First off, I will be reinstated as the Hokage. At this everybody started yelling saying that he was already Hokage and someone else should have a turn. Shut up. Someone else should have a turn. What do you think this job is a game? You have no idea. Now that decision is final. The elders grumbled at this, not liking it one bit. Shibi noticed the baby in his arms and spoke about it. Hokage-sama, who was that child? After hearing this everybody quieted down waiting to hear the answer. This is the child used to seal the Kyuubi. And it was that simple, but most of the people didn't see it that way, screaming, kill the demon. And kill it while it's weak and helpless. But if you listened closely you could hear someone say, troublesome. Sarutobi was chuckling first, finding their screaming amusing, but then got annoyed and shut them up with a blast of his killer intent, which is now going to be key since I'm tired of writing the whole thing. Danzo spoke up, finding the perfect chance on getting a new, perfect weapon. Sarutobi, you should have me train this child. Sarutobi looked at Danzo amusingly. I'm sorry Danzo, as much as I want to do that I'm going to have to decline your offer. Danzo at first didn't understand but then said, what do you mean? You said it yourself that you would want me to train it, so why do you refuse? Sarutobi continued to stare at Danzo, creeping him right the out, before smirking and said, because I don't want him to be strong, I want him to be weak and helpless. Because what if he was to turn on us? I don't want him having the strength to do any damage to our village. Then why don't you kill it? Kaharu said from her seat. Because then the Kyuubi would be free with all of its strength to finish destroying the village, explained Sarutobi slowly to his teammate, causing her to see red. I don't know why you would want to kill this little baby anyway if he just the jail to the prisoner that is the Kyuubi. All I know is that all this is just troublesome. Shikaku said sleepily, thus causing him to put his head down. Inoichi and Shuza just sweat dropped at him before apologizing to the Hokage for Shikaku. Then Inoichi slapped him in the back of the head, causing him to raise his head and complain to Inoichi to stop hitting people while they try to sleep, claiming that it was rude. I agree with Shikaku, Hokage-sama, as this child poses no threat to us as he is just that, a child. This child is just like my clan as we possess bugs inside our body. Shibi said to the Hokage. That may be true, Shibi-san, but you or none of your clan was changed like the boy was. Now this boy will go into the orphanage just like all the other kids today, and we will never need to have a discuss about him ever again. This meeting is over, you're dismissed. Spoke the Sandame harshly as he picked up the child from off the table and went to take him to the orphanage with absolutely no regrets, like I said. Do you think he is going to tell the village about Naruto holding the Kyuubi in his gut? Sume said. Well, of course he is. Did you not see how much the Sandame hates the little kid? Inoichi said to Sume. Like it matters, all it is going to do is make the whole village hate Naruto. Shikaku said as he got up to leave so he could finally go to sleep, in peace without people hitting him. After this was said, everybody left the chambers to go do their own thing and give their children a lot of love, because baby Naruto was not going to get none from the people of the village. 6 years later, Naruto was walking on the road along the way to his apartment carrying some wood and paint in his small arms. He was wearing a plain white t-shirt that had holes and dirt all over it. With some blue shorts that reached below his knees, they too had dirt and holes in it. He was pissed off at the villagers. They had the nerve to come into his apartment while he was sleeping and not only beat him up a little, but also write the words, "Demon scum," and "Go back to hell demon," on his walls and destroy some of his walls, putting massive holes in them. Then when the landlord seen it, he made me give him money and then told me to go repair it with my own money. I remember the time when I got this apartment and practically made Hokage Tem give it to me, along with enough money to pay the bills with, since me having the Kyuubi wasn't much of a secret kept from me. Sighed Naruto as he continued walking towards his apartment, ignoring the glares from the people. Flashback, 1 year ago. I had just gotten kicked out of the orphanage and left on the streets. When I decided I should go to the Hokage's office and see if I can get my own place. It was no secret that the Hokage didn't like me, but if I played my cards right, then I would be able to get my own place. As I entered the building, I had to quickly hide myself from the secretary, as she had thrown something at me. I think it was a stapler, but what I do know is that it would have hurt if it would have hit me. Hey, quit throwing stuff, I didn't do anything to you, said Naruto from behind his cover, which was someone else before I was shoved out of the way by that same person. And when I was shoved, I had to, again, move out of the way from another object. This time I ran up the stairs, head towards the Hokage's office, hoping that the old bastard would do this for me, just this one time. Hey brat, get back here, the secretary said as she sat back in her seat and got back to work, forgetting about me already. I had to be careful about how I approached the Hokage or he would immediately kick me out of the office. So I knocked lightly on the door and entered when told to. Please don't kick me out. I lightly repeated in my mind. Hi Hokage-sama, can I have a moment of your time? I said, still repeating my mantra in my head. The Hokage looked up from his paperwork when he heard my voice and sneered at me and was about to kick me out when I said quickly, please don't kick me out Hokage-sama. I said as politely as I could. I even bowed to him and put my head down and everything. The Hokage stopped what he was about to do, but kept sneering at me and asked me what I wanted, and it had to be as important to have stopped him from doing his paperwork. But I knew he was going to want to talk to me anyway because I knew that he hated paperwork more than he hated me. Hokage-sama, the orphanage has kicked me out and I was wondering if I could get a new place to stay. When I seen he was about to say no, I added, please consider this offer Hokage-sama. trying not to sound rude or anything. He sighed and then said, "Explain to me why I should give you what you want." As he said this, my eyes widened as I didn't expect him to say this. I thought to myself, what do I do now? I sighed and said, I don't anything to say to that except if you don't all end up dead and the Kyuubi released to finish what it started. I knew that as soon as I said that I would have to pray and see if he took the bait, as I knew he was thinking about it. Sarutobi's perspective. When I heard Naruto say that, I had to think for a couple minutes. He is a smart demon to know that the seal would break down and the Kyuubi would be freed. Or does he know and just said that hoping that it would work? After what felt like an hour, he sighed again and said, well, it did. Naruto's perspective. I watched, in a nervous wreck, as the old man thought about my future. Fine, I'll give you the apartment. After this, I jumped up happily and immediately latched onto the old man, saying thank you repeatedly. Get off of me or I'll kill you myself, said the Sandame as he released a bit of ki. I had forgotten that the Hokage hated me in my joy and let go of him and thanked him properly. Thank you, Hokage-sama, and can I get some money to pay rent with and to also get food with? I do need food to survive. I knew I was pushing it, but I didn't know he would accept it, but I did stop myself from latching onto him again. I watched as he got a piece of paper and smirked at it, wrote some things and then put it in his outbox. He then stood up and told me to follow him. I was puzzled at what he was doing before figuring out that he was going to show me where I will be staying, as I too got up and followed him. We were walking down the road as I watched everyone around me. And I absolutely loved the look in their faces as they watched the Hokage and me walk side by side. Okay, I was a little in the back of him, but I was still with him. When we got to the apartment, I was a little appalled at the building as it was a run-down piece of junk, but it was something and I was grateful for it. But after talking to the landlord and seeing the inside of it, I was absolutely disgusted with all of the mold everywhere. The apartment was a one-bedroom with a bathroom and the kitchen was practically in the living room. There was already furniture there, but they too had mold everywhere. After the Hokage left, the landlord said, "Don't wreck the place." He then left, leaving me to say, really, like anything else could happen to this place. Size, this is going to take so much time to make it look even livable. Until it dawned on me, that old bastard gave me this apartment on purpose. Release flashback. Naruto was just reminiscing about the time when he got the apartment the bastard of a Hokage gave him. So he wasn't really paying attention to his surroundings. And because he wasn't paying attention to where he was going, he ended up making a wrong turn into an alley and thus into a wall. It was a good thing that the can of paint had a lid on it, because he dropped everything that was in his little hands. It was like he fell in slow motion, it was so funny. But when he dropped to the ground, he just laid there before he moved his head to the right and found something under the garbage can that will change his life. As he watched the child walk, he cast a few hand seals. After finishing up his hand seals and watching the little child turn the corner to where he wanted him to go, which was in the alley, and then ending the genjutsu on him right before he hit the wall, he had to pat himself on the back. As he was never a genjutsu user but now was the only exception. That little boy better find what I have for him. I would hate to have did all that work for nothing. The cloaked figure said as he left. In a dark room. Did you drop off the package? One figure said to another, crouching figure. Yes sir, I noticed he was in a genjutsu and went down an alley, and that is where I made my move. The crouching figure said to the first. These two figures were in a small dark room. Even though it was around noon, outside, it was dark in here. Weird. It seems someone else wants this boy to get stronger, but which side is this person on, Sarutobi's or mine? As the first figure thought this and turned to leave, you could see bandages around his head. Soon that boy would need help, and when he does, I'll be right there. He then did an evil chuckle. Alley with Naruto. As Naruto's vision cleared and he looked under the garbage can, he found two scrolls. Puzzled, he picked them up and examined them to see whose they were. One scroll was blank and white, while the other had his name on it and was blue. Naruto looked around and shrugged his shoulders and put them in his pockets, left out the alley and ran to his apartment, careful not to have the scrolls slip out. Naruto's apartment. When he entered his apartment, he immediately locked his door and went to his bedroom with the scrolls, dropping everything else on the way. As he took both the scrolls from his pocket and opened the one with his name, all he saw was a weird drawing, and below that he saw kanji that read, "Add chakra." Now you have to understand living on the streets and doing things yourself, you have to learn a few things. He taught himself how to write and read and cook for himself. But right now he did not know what chakra was, so he just sat there looking at it for what felt like forever, before he came up with a solution. Oh, chakra must be what ninjas use. If I could use it, then I could protect myself. With that done, he checked the other scroll. As he opened it, he saw that the inside said in big kanji, wind, and then it showed chakra control techniques. Like leaf floating, tree climbing, water walking, then it had kunai balancing exercises. Then for controlling wind better, it had leaf cutting, water flow cutting, changing the wind current, and tornado making and conrolling. After that, it had jutsus listing from C rank to A rank, 2 Cs, 2 Bs, and 2 As. And then it had the hand signs for the correct seal and how to do the jutsu. For C rank it had futon, datapa and futon, repusho. Then for B rank it had futon, renkuden and futon, kazakiri. And finally for A rank it had futon, kase no yeba and futon, kami aroshi. Wow, these jutsus sound awesome. It says here there are 12 hand signs to learn. I think I should keep all this a secret. Don't want the old man to find out about this, but what do I do about the other scroll? I have to find out how to use chakra to even begin on that one. As he thought about this, it became clear that he would have to join the academy to learn how to use chakra. Or I could help you. That voice seemed to come out of nowhere, but deep down he knew where it came from. Are you the Kyuubi no Kitsune that everybody keeps calling me? Naruto said out loud to nothing. Oh good, I have a smart host, but you should think the words lest you want people to think you're a crazy demon. The Kyuubi said, laughing at its own joke. Naruto mentally sweat dropped, thinking the Kyuubi was the crazy demon. Okay. Why do you want to help me? If you're the one that made my life a living hell in the first place. Naruto said to the Kyuubi, getting angry at the end. On the contrary, kid, it was not me that made your life hell. Who was it then? It was obviously the old bastard, as you so kindly call him. He was the one that told everybody you was my container. And then told the whole village and didn't do anything else to ensure your safety. I mean, come on, he barely gave you this shitty apartment, and that only happened because you did the smart thing and threatened him with my release upon your death, which I would then destroy the rest of this pathetic village. But if I learned anything behind these bars is that if you die, I would die with you. So if there is one thing that I appreciate out of my imprisonment is that I'm a smart person. I absolutely hate idiots. Just imagine if you were wearing orange screaming about being Hokage every 5 minutes, I would have to force this seal to kill us both. And that's another thing, this seal is getting on my nerves. I can't do anything in here and I just now bypassed it enough to let me talk to you, and that took 6 years. And have you seen your mind? It's a sewer. What the hell? That is not good for me. Not to menti. Whoa Kyuubi, calm down. Alright, I'll let you help me. Geez, as long as you don't ever rant like that again. I forbid you. Geez, giving me a headache with all your nonsense. Naruto said to the ranting fox. All right kid, are you ready to start your journey as a ninja? Kyuubi spoke excitedly. Naruto, seeing no other person or demon here to teach him what to do, he accepted and thus, as the Kyuubi said, started his journey to be a ninja. 2 years later, in the forest, we see Naruto sitting cross-legged on a tree branch meditating. Oh, and did I mention he was upside down? Yes, Naruto has been training his off these past 2 years. He certainly has grown from being 3 feet and 11 inches, now he was 4 feet and 9 inches. He was now wearing a skin-tight black shirt, showing his developing muscles. And a pair of black cargo pants that had 4 deep pockets where he keeps his scrolls and the occasional kunai. He was wearing a pair of black boots that had metal at the bottom to protect him from makebishi and to put more power behind his kicks. He had Anbu shin guards under his pants and gloves covering his fist. His hair had grown to his shoulders, causing him to tie his hair into a samurai-like ponytail with a black ribbon that blows with the wind. He could now control thanks to his training. And speaking of training, after finding out how to use chakra and opening the other scroll, he learned more things than those wind jutsus. Flashback, 2 years ago. After Kyuubi explained the concept of chakra and the different things you could do with it, I pushed my chakra into the drawing. 3 things popped out of it. One was another scroll that had water. Another was a scroll that had Shizuka na shi no Geijutsu on it. It was a taijutsu style. Kyuubi said was many years ago, when the ninja didn't have ninjutsu to fight with. And last was a book that said, The Introduction of Seals. I put the book down and went to the water scroll and seen what kind of jutsus were in this one. This scroll had 8 jutsus total, not like the other one that only had 6. There was 4 C rank and 4 B rank water jutsus for me to learn. For C rank it had Sweden, Mizu Bushin, Sweden, Mizu no Muchi, Sweden Tepudama, and Sweden, Mizoripa. And then for B rank it had Sweden, Sujinheki, Sweden, Ya no Kuchi, Sweden, Swiryuban, and Sweden, Swiryudan no Jutsu. When he was done reading about the jutsus, he looked for chakra control exercises like the wind one had. Instead, he found another seal. After repeating the process from earlier, he found another scroll labeled Water Chakra Control Exercises. Of course, he opened it immediately. Inside was the water walking exercise, wave making and controlling, and whirlpool making and controlling. These are awesome. I didn't know you could do these things with chakra. Well, there are many things you could do with chakra kit. But first you have to understand elemental chakra. Understand elemental chakra, what do you mean? Like what element is strong against what element and weak against what element? Go on, Fox, keep going. Naruto thought, irritated that the Kyuubi stopped, and knew it did it on purpose. Like how fire beats wind beats lightning beats earth beats water, and water beats fire. It's really simple once you think about it. Oh, I get it now. Is there a way for somebody to combine these elements? See, Kit, that's why I like you. You're smart. Yes, you can, but it is very difficult for humans that don't have a bloodline to help with the mixing of 2 of their elements to create another. Like with wind and water, you get ice. And with water and earth, you get wood. Ice sounds awesome. Would I be able to make ice? No, didn't you hear me? I said that you have to have a bloodline to be able to not have problems with the making of ice. Since you don't have a direct source, you do live in Hai no Kuni, not Yuki no Kuni. Naruto laid on his bed thinking when he got it, hey, would you be able to give me a bloodline for ice? I don't think so. I would have to change your DNA, and the seal is barely letting me talk to you. What if when I learn how to enter my mind I could rip some of the seal off and you could give me the bloodline? I would think that you would want your container to be very strong to protect himself from his enemies so that neither of us will die. The Kyuubi thought about this. Okay, you got a deal, Kit. But on one condition. Alright, as long as I get to do some cool ice moves. As he jumped off the bed and started doing some weird moves and making weird icy noises, like Ching and Sha Ling, the Kyuubi mentally sweat dropped. Ah, Kit, don't start acting stupid now. You was on a roll. Now back to business. The condition is that you allow me to feel your senses, like sight, taste, smell, hear, and touch. Ooh, and I'll enhance those senses for you except touch. You don't need to have an overdose on your senses. You got a deal, Kyuubi. Please, call me Akane. You got a deal, Ak. Wait, you're a girl. Release flashback. After another failed attempt to enter his mind, he let himself drop from the tree. He used his wind chakra to slow the drop and righted himself in the air and landed on his feet. That was a 6.5 only because you masterfully used wind chakra. What, that was at least an 8.5. Naruto grumbled at Akane. As he walked towards the village to go back to his apartment, the sun was rising and he needed to hurry if he was going to get some breakfast, while the owners were drowsy and didn't remember anything about the sale until later when he was long gone. You see, ever since his place got ransacked about 3 months ago, he started living in this shack he made behind the Hokage mountain faces. He felt safe up there without the villagers to take his stuff, and since nobody ever goes back there, he could train in peace. It was a good thing that he had sealed his scrolls into another scroll after learning how to make storage seals. Entering a shop that sold dangos, he decided to henge himself into someone else to order. Since the owner of this shop was wide awake, and even if she is old, it's better to be safe than sorry. He was hanged to look like a boy about 10 years old with brown hair and brown eyes. He had to wear a special cream to make the whiskers disappear. Akane called it makeup. I called it magic cream that makes marks disappear. Totally different. Hi, young boy, what may I get you? Hi, ma'am, can I get an order of sweet bean paste and a half a dozen dango, with a side of jasmine tea? Naruto ordered calmly. Sure, that would be 35 yen. I paid and waited for the food, which was given to me not 5 minutes later. I got up and went to a nearby alley and made my way to the apartment, releasing the henge on the way. Ah, the henge has to be one of the best things the Akane has ever taught me. She said that it was what they would teach it to me in the Shinobi Academy. It was actually part of the graduation exam along with substitution and Bushin jutsus, they too I learned. Since I have so much chakra, I have to make more than 50 bushins for them not to look sick and on the floor. Thanks to all the chakra control I put myself through. Ah, the beauty of cage bushins. I think I need a little more praise for giving you that gold mine of a jutsu. Akane said proudly from Naruto's mind. You're right, Akane, thank you very much. Not only did it rapidly speed my training up, but I can make them steal from the library to get me more things to learn. He returned them later on after he finished copying the information onto another scroll for his library of knowledge. He doesn't have any other elemental jutsus except for his 6 wind and his 8 water, because those scrolls were locked up tight and closely watched each night. And plus only ninjas could get into that section of the library. Which brings me to my next thing to achieve. I have to enter the Shinobi Academy. I will enter the Academy for Ninjas and I will pass it so I can learn more. That is my goal and I'll reach it, or my name isn't Uzumaki Naruto. He laughed as he changed his direction to the Hokage building. Naruto entered the Hokage tower and headed towards the office of the man who hates him and vice versa. But he had to find a way to hide his strength from him, no doubt knowing how to sense how strong someone is when they are in front of them. So he turned a corner into an empty room and spoke to Akane. Akane-chan, is there a way for you to lower my power without actually making me weak? I should be able to mask your chakra to the level of an ordinary rookie academy student. I should have taught this to you. It is one of the most important skill a ninja should have, so that their enemy underestimates them. Then how come you didn't? I would have learned to do it with the cage bushin. I know I was focusing on the now and not the future when you needed it, sorry. It's okay. You'll teach me how to do it when we have time. Now let's go. Naruto left the room when she was finished and made his way back to the old man's office. I wonder if I have to threaten him again. He thought as he knocked on the door and entered the office. In the office, 5 minutes earlier. In the office were Danzo and the Sandame. They again having an argument about Danzo not training Naruto. But Sarutobi, I could make him completely loyal to the village. You mean completely loyal to you? And how many times do I have to tell you I don't want him getting strong? Well, how about you let him go to the academy and hinder his growth through academics? Danzo said, already thinking of a way to get a stupid little boy in his grasp. That's not a bad idea, and if he does become a ninja he'll have to obey me. The Sandame thinking about all the ways to torture the boy by making him do nothing but D-rank missions. Danzo, seeing Sarutobi smirking, mentally shivered. As if reading his mind, the Hokage told him his plan. This time he physically shivered, remembering the horrors of D-rank missions, as if they could be called that. He honestly felt sorry for the boy and any other ninja that had to do those chores. When they heard a knock on the door, they waited, before sensing Naruto opening the door. Back with Naruto present. When Naruto entered the office, he was surprised to see the Hokage smirking at him and the other old man in the bandages giving him a look of pity. Did I miss a joke or something? At this he seen the Hokage's smirk widen and the bandaged man to lower his head and put his hand on his shoulder, pat once and wish him good luck. Naruto just stood there with a confused face and everything. You could actually see a huge question mark above his head. The Hokage kept on smirking, watching Danzo pat the demon on his shoulder and leave. For once the Hokage was glad to see him. It was going to be so fun torturing him. Okay. Hokage saw. You don't have to say anything. I already know what you're here for. And I'll have you enrolled this September. The Hokage wanted to laugh like Orochimaru right now, at seeing Naruto's face get even more confused, as if that was possible. Well, that was easy. Naruto said, exiting the office. The Hokage, seeing him leave, finally laughed. Yes, that was easier than I thought. Outside. Don't you think that was a little too easy? I mean, did you see the way he was smirking? Akane said, worried about what the old bastard was planning. Well, now that you mention it, he did seem to be acting different from the last time I seen him. Do you think he has something planned for us? He thought, now concerned for his safety. I wouldn't put it past him. That old man lives in the past along with the rest of this village. Once you get strong enough, you're going to have to leave before they decide you lived long enough and attack you seriously. After she had said that, Naruto knew it was only a matter of time when they would strike, maybe as soon as he showed how strong he was or during a mission. I have to get stronger and quick if I'm going to survive against the Junin of this village. he said softly as he was passing some Junin and Chunin now. Akane, what is today? Naruto asked her, thinking about how much time was left before he has to go to the academy. Well, if I'm correct, then today would have to be the 1st of July. Which means you only have 2 months to train and learn some new things before you go to school. I'm sure they would try to hinder your academic growth. Well then I better hurry up then, but first let's get something to eat. It seemed his stomach agreed with him, so he went to go get some ramen. He hadn't had that in some time. Walking into the shop and sitting on a nearby stool and waiting for Ayame to take his order. Speaking of Ayame, she finally seen him and went to take his order. Hey Naruto, what would you like? She said with a fake smile, but Naruto seen right through it and gave her his own. I would like 10 bowls of miso ramen, please. He said, straining the word please. It was pretty obvious that Naruto didn't want any problems, since the last time when she purposely dropped a bowl of ramen on his lap. That's why he went to the stool that was by a ledge where she wouldn't get the chance to do that again. Sure, I'll be right back with your order. Why do you keep coming back here, when they clearly can't stand you? But their ramen is the only decent ramen in this whole village. Then steal their recipe and make your own. But why do all that work when they could just make it for me? I don't even have to clean the dishes after either. Naruto said as if it was that simple, which in reality it was as long as you had the money to pay. She came back with his food and left again. He checked each and every one of them for anything unusual, like poison, with his chakra. After finding nothing wrong with it, he ate and left money on the counter, and went to train. How come you didn't let me poison it too, San? Ayame said, frustrated. Because that demon eats like crazy and he's paying our rent with his appetite. And if you kill him, we won't have any extra money to spend on ourselves. Chuki said, like it was obvious. 2 months later, Naruto stood in front of the Ninja Academy with 2 new accessories added to his wardrobe. One was a pair of shades that fit his face perfectly, and the other was a face mask that covered his neck up to and over his nose, not hindering his breathing at all. They both were black and thus matched his outfit. He just hoped he didn't attract any unwanted attention or fangirls. It was as if Cammy herself hated him, because as soon as he entered the schoolyard, every eye was on him, judging him and watching his every move while whispering to their peers. What is that demon doing here? I thought the Hokage wanted him to be weak, said a member from the civilian council, dropping his son off at school, now thinking about taking his son back home and withdrawing his son's name from the roster. Oh Cammy, what did I do to deserve this? Naruto said, looking up. No response was given to him, not even from Akane. So he just started walking, and pretty soon he started to feel the weak key from the civilian parents that were holding their children behind their backs, for protection from the demon. Ooh, the arrogance of this village is annoying, he thought as he continued to walk. Seeing several of the parents tell their kids to not associate with him. When the kids asked why, the parents told them about him being the Kyuubi that attacked the village all those years ago. Seeing their scared faces, he couldn't help but smirk, as fear was the best thing for him to have right now. After all, it's better for one to fear you than to respect you. What do we have here? A stranded demon. We don't like your kind around here. Leave before we kill you, said a random bully. Naruto looked at him and the rest of the bullies. All 5 of them seemed to be last year students. So what do you 13-year-olds want with little ol' me? I don't seem to remember provoking you in any way, Naruto said, still smirking while gauging their reactions, getting ready for a fight without going into his silent death stance. It wouldn't be good to accidentally kill one of these kids. Well, you did provoke us. What did I do then? Feigning confusion, he even tilted his head and looked at all the other bullies. You're breathing, the leader said as he charged along with his crew. The parents and their kids cheered for the bullies to kill the demon. The only ones not cheering were the Uchiha, Hyuga, Nara, Yamanaka, Akamichi, and the Aburame, and their kids. The Inuzuka and the Haruno were screaming their lungs off. Well, too bad, he'll have to shut them up by denying their wish. As the bullies finally got to Naruto, he suddenly disappeared before reappearing behind them all and walked to the building, showing his opened hand and putting his fingers down like a count off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At 0 each of the bullies fell to the ground, all knocked out. At this, everyone shut up. Each of the shinobi council were amazed, well except for Uchiha and the Hyuga. Well, it wasn't really the parents that were seething as it was the kids. Young Sasuke and Hinata were mad that the demon had that kind of power. I should have that power to avenge my clan. And kill my brother. You see, his whole clan was killed not even a month ago, by his brother. Yup, all his clan excluding him and his mother, and even she is going to die, since she was poisoned. She didn't want to tell her son because then he will become distracted and won't get as strong to kill her eldest son, Itachi. Young Hinata was mad because someone, not even from a clan, was stronger than she was. But she knew she had to remain indifferent to everything lest she be branded like her cousin. So she took her eyes off the boy's back and turned them towards her father's. Hinata, I want you to be careful around him, okay? Don't get into any fights. Hi, father. Naruto entered the building, handed his paper to the lady at the front, and then was told to go to room 211. Naruto kindly thanked her since she didn't seem to recognize him and walked to the room where he will be for the next 4 years. He entered the room and walked to the back where people would barely be able to see him and put his head down, waiting for the other kids to get here and the sensei. When they all entered and seen him in the back, they all tried to get a seat in the front. The only kids that were close to him were the kids a row in front of him, which were the Uchiha, Hyuga, and the Nara kids. Oh, how lucky he was to be by 3 clan heirs. They most likely hated his guts, like the rest of the village. As the teachers came in the class, one of them quieted everyone by manifesting a giant head to scream at his students and introduced himself as Iruka, with his assistant Mizuki. Now stay quiet as I call roll. After hearing him call out various names, he waited for him to call his name. But it was never called. Sensei, my name wasn't called. Naruto told Iruka. Oh, but I did. You didn't hear me say demon, because I think I remember. Iruka said, smirking. Oh great, another hater. Yay me. Naruto thought sarcastically. No, I didn't hear it. That's why I asked you in the first place. Some of the other kids had to laugh at that. Naruto, hearing laughter, smirk until Iruka yelled for them to shut up. Just for that we're going to have a pop quiz. What, but this is our first day here. Most of the class yelled, but the loudest were Dog Boy, aka Inuzuka Kiba, and Giant Forehead Banshee, aka Haruno Sakura. After the shout, it was Iruka's turn to smirk. Well, that's not my fault now, is it? You can thank the demon over there. At this, the class looked at Naruto and releasing some ki on instinct alone. Oh geez, this is going to be the longest 4 years of my life. He thought as the papers were passed to everyone. Naruto was sitting in class listening to Iruka Baka talk about the history of the Nadaime and how he sacrificed himself in the Second Ninja War. That stuff was boring when he learned it 7 years ago. He doesn't need to hear it again. Naruto was still the same old Naruto, he just got taller and a lot stronger. Thanks to him figuring out how to sneak into the jutsu side of the library. It was as easy as transforming oneself into something like a mouse or a ninja that recently went on a mission or gets buried by somebody, with a learned earth jutsu, or tied up somewhere with suppression seals on his body, or both. Yup, after finally getting access to his own mind, 3 years ago, he finally finalized the deal with Akane. But he got way more than what she promised. Let's just say that with the heightened senses he got some extra affinities. Like fire, lightning, and earth. Oh, and she also did the whole DNA thing. Now I can use dice easily. All I need are some jutsus for the element and I'm set. But let me tell you something, I didn't just get all of this without suffering some pain. I was away from school for about a week, but maybe I just used that as an excuse to not go. Shish, don't tell nobody. After learning he had those affinities, he went to the library to learn some jutsus for the elements, and with Kage Bushin he could learn while he was in school, which he was happy for since he always had to stay in detention like 4 hours after school ended. Why? For asking to go to the bathroom, answering a question right, which was all the time, and let's not forget beating up Mizuki sensei in all their spars, if I can call them that. That man's idea of a spar is he comes at me with a kunai and anything else while I only get a stick. Thank goodness I'm faster than he is, and stronger, and smarter, and practically anything else. Sasuke is a better fighter than he is, and I can wipe the floor with him. As it was now lunchtime, I went to sit in a tree away from the other kids. Speaking of Sasuke, here he is again trying to get into a fight with me. Fight me, demon. Look, Tem, just because you want to get your kicked, doesn't mean I'm in the mood to do the kicking. Go fight Hinata or something. See whose dujutsu is better between you both. Oh, that's right, you don't have yours, ha 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 ha, so much for the almighty Uchiha. Naruto ranted while up in the tree where nobody will be able to go. And just when he was about to think about the past again, the Thames fangirls just had to make their presence known to him, not like he didn't already know. Don't speak about Sasuke-kun like that demon. Get down here and fight him if you're not scared that it. They all screamed at the same time. Geez, do you bitches have to scream? I'm not that far away. I bet people in Kumo could hear you. And me scared. Do you want your precious Uchiha to end up in the hospital, again? Naruto said, picking his ear out with his pinky while chewing on a senbon needle. He pulls his mask down only for food and his senbon needle. It being metal didn't bother him a bit. And speaking of senbon needles, did I tell you they were absolutely excellent in disabling people if you knew your anatomy, which he did. WHO are you calling bitches? They all screamed again. Naruto sighs and decides to leave the only way he knew how. He shushined away. Where did that worthless demon go? Sasuke-kun needs somebody to pound. Sasuke just walked away knowing he'll be back when the bell rings for class. Wait, Sasuke-kun. As they chased after him. Class time, 20 minutes later. As the bell rang, Naruto was the last one in class. He didn't say anything to the teacher or nothing, he just went to his seat. Iruka finally started to talk about how today was the exam for graduation and to everybody to get ready for the first part. The written exam. Hokage Tower. Sarutobi was waiting 4 years for this. Soon he will have a stupid tool to send on a suicide mission and be done with, or have him do only D-rank missions. Yes, or make him do every Kage's true nemesis, paperwork. When I'm done with him he's going to wish for me to kill him. Ha 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 ha. Sir, what do you want me to tell Iruka? Tell him not to sabotage this test. I want the demon to pass. Hi. The ninja said and went to complete his mission. Yes, soon. The crazed Hokage said as he looked out the window staring in the direction of the academy. Classroom. As Iruka was passing out the test and was about to give Naruto a prearranged test from the bottom of the stack of papers, a knock was sounded at the door. Then a Chunin walked into the room. After spotting Iruka he walked to him, spoke in his ear, and left via shunshin. But Naruto could hear what was said along with Kiba, but he is not important. Don't give Naruto that test, give him a regular test. From orders of the Hokage. See, I knew that shit for brains was planning something. Akane told him in his head. I heard Akane, no need to tell me. And plus I was a little tired of doing Anbu test. Let's see what the Genin test have to question. Naruto told her as he looked at the test. No, he didn't look, he stared at it. No wonder this village's death rate is so high. This is stupid, it's not testing us at all. And indeed the Genin test were stupid. What is your name? Which do you prefer to use, kunai or shuriken? How many Hokages have this village had so far? Who is the current Hokage? And who is the person you would like to kill the most? This test was absolutely retarded. Now I want to do the Anbu test. I think I got a little stupider doing this test. I wonder if it's too late to ask for a harder one. Alright, put your pencils down. Time for the ninjutsu portion of the exam. Iruka spoke to the class. I guess it is. Naruto thought as he put his head down. Ha 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 ha, it's okay Naruto, one of your Kage Bushins just dispelled. At least you got a new jutsu. It's futon. Atsugai, if you didn't pay attention to the memory. Thanks Akane-chan, you always know how to cheer me up. When I call your names, come in the room and we'll test you. Aburame Shino, come on. Naruto watched as the kids were called and came out with headbands and some didn't. When it was Sasuke's turn, all the girls except Hinata cheered and screamed, Sasuke-kun, seriously, what do they see in him? Because all I see is a ducks. Hinata thought as Sasuke aka the emo king went into the room and came out a minute later with a headband. Yet again the room was filled with their cheers. Then came his name, the only person that haven't went yet, excluding Yamanaka Ino. He went into the room and closed the door when Iruka told him to substitute with anything in the room, when Mizuki throws the blunted kunai at him. At first he was like, ah hell no. But then his prankster side got the best of him. It must have been ripping half of the seal of, but he's been acting like a fox since then, must be nothing really. So when the kunai was thrown he substituted with Mizuki, causing the kunai to hit him in the shoulder, and it went deep too, showing that it was blunted and that Mizuki used a lot of force too. Ah, my shoulder. Mizuki screamed in pain. Iruka sent a glare to me. What you said with anything in the room. Don't blame me that Mizuki decided to throw a sharpened kunai at me. Naruto said casually, picking his ear. Whatever, demon. Mizuki, get up and take yourself to the nurse. Mizuki stopped screaming and started whimpering at the pain and left the room. Now henge yourself into me. Naruto shrugged his shoulders and did it effortlessly and without any hand signs. After he was scored according for how flawlessly he did the henge, he was asked to make some clones. So he made 50 regular bushins, surprising his teacher. Seeing it, Naruto decided to tell him, "Don't be surprised, Iruka, with my reserves as big as they are, I have to make this many, you know that." Indeed, he did know that. So Iruka passed Naruto, saying he did better than Sasuke and was now Rookie of the Year, bumping Sasuke down to second place, just where he was before his mother died. That's right, he let Sasuke become Rookie of the Year after his mother's death 2 years ago. He did it for the honor of the only Uchiha that wasn't corrupt like the rest of the Kami Forsaken clan, but now it was time to regain his title. Grabbing a headband with a black ribbon, he tied it around his head to keep his bangs from going in front of his shades that he still wore. His hair now having 2 bangs framing his face. The top was spiky as always and the rest went just above his shoulder blades. As he finished, he left the room and headed towards his seat, hearing Ino's name being called. Everybody seemed extra wary of him after sending Mizuki to the nurse again. They really shouldn't be surprised, he did do it often. After Ino came out with a headband, Iruka congratulated the class and told everyone how they did. For the written portion, in first place everyone is tied, as they answered every question right. Like that test gave anyone a challenge. Naruto thought dryly. For the ninjutsu portion, in first place is Uzumaki Naruto for making 50 clones. He is once again the Rookie of the Year. Iruka said reluctantly, and the last part lowly, but it was still loud enough to be heard, especially by Sasuke and his fangirls. What, how did that low life beat me? I am an Uchiha, I am of the most elite of the clan. Sasuke yelled in rage. I demand that we fight for the title. Sasuke added, seeing the perfect chance to fight Naruto. Demon, do you want to fight Sasuke for the title of Rookie of the Year? Whatever, it's not like I have anything better to do. Naruto said sarcastically. Let's get this over with. I actually have places to be. Academy training ground. Everyone gathered outside for the fight. As always, Choji had some chips to eat while he watched Sasuke get his kicked. Shikamaru was looking at the sky, watching the clouds go by. Shino was being Shino, not really doing anything in particular. Hinata was bored and didn't want to be here. She had to train how to do the Kaden now since she was a ninja. Ino and Sakura were screaming for Sasuke to kick Naruto's. Kiba was yelling, wanting them both to kick each other's. While the rest just watched. Mizuki, now back from the nurse, wanted revenge against the demon, and Iruka was speaking. Now the rules are simple, the first one that surrenders loses, and the winner gets the title. This is a taijutsu match only. No nin or gen, got it, you two. Now began. While Iruka was giving the stipulations for the match, Naruto decided he was going to give Sasuke a chance to try and get his title back. If in 2 minutes he didn't do any damage, he'll end the match. When he heard the match start, he seen Sasuke charge at him. He jumped up, landing on Sasuke's head and pushed off of him, taunting him. What's the matter, Sasuke, can't you see me? I think you need glasses. Naruto said, gliding in the air before landing on his feet. Sasuke turned around and charged again, sending punches at Naruto. Naruto dodged them all effortlessly, again getting on Sasuke's nerves. Naruto then started taunting him again. Sasuke, quit trying to touch me. I told you already I don't roll that way. Naruto laughed again, kicking him in the face, sending him about 30 feet away. Sasuke quickly got up, red in the face, from both anger and embarrassment, so he started going through hand seals. Naruto, recognizing the seals, decided to play a trick, his prankster side once again surfacing. Kaden. Gukakyu no Jutsu. When those words were uttered, a giant fireball was sent at Naruto. The fireball engulfed him and kept going, hitting some trees. Sasuke, after not seeing Naruto, started laughing. See, that loser didn't stand a chance against an Uchiha. Some of the other kids joined in the laughter, but Hinata, Shikamaru, and Shino knew it would take more than a little fireball to get rid of Naruto. I mean, the Kyuubi was a fire demon. And just like they thought, they seen Sasuke get pulled down into the ground by a pair of hands, until only his head remained. Sasuke, taken by surprise, couldn't do anything except yell at the blonde who was rising from the ground, not even dirty. Hello Sasuke-chan, what are you doing in the ground? Naruto chuckled while wiping off some non-existent dirt. You should get out of there or you're going to get dirty, and I think your fangirls would love to see that. This time laughing out loud, or as they say, lolling. He would have continued except he heard screams and the sound of bodies hitting the floor. He looked over and seen all his fangirls on the floor. His sweat dropped at the stupidity of the situation. It's not like I cut his head off or anything. But you should, that would be sweet. Because Sasuke Miss Era did a ninjutsu and has disabled Naruto as the winner. Now Naruto, get him out of the ground. Class dismissed, be here on Monday for team placements. Iruka said as he left the premises. Seeing Iruka leave, he too left, seeing no reason why he should dig out the Uchiha, so he shunshed to his apartment. The other students left also, not wanting to dig up the Uchiha, leaving his fangirls to do it when they woke up. His apartment. Getting to the apartment, he finally dispelled his cage bushins that were working at his shack. After Akane sorted out the information, he got the memories of his shadow clones. He learned about 5 more jutsu, 1 to each element. For fire he learned Kaden. Hisekasho. For water he learned Suiden. Daibakufu no Jutsu. For lightning he learned Raiden. Kaminari Okami. For wind he learned Futon. Kazaryuden. And lastly for earth he learned Doden. Doryu Heki. These jutsus adding to his already huge arsenal of jutsu he learned from this village. He now knows 8 wind, as this village doesn't have that many wind jutsus to offer. 15 water jutsus, 12 fire jutsus, this last one making it 12, 5 lightning jutsus, like wind this village didn't have a lot. And lastly 16 earth jutsus, like fire and water this country had lots of them. And Akane, being a kitsune, taught a total of 8 genjutsus, only someone with a Sharingan can do, but since she was the creator she gave him some of the properties of the Sharingan. Like the whole eye contact instant genjutsu thing. It's cool to fool people. The only thing he didn't learn how to do was use a sword because they would sell the demon swords. Maybe now that he is a ninja he could finally get one, but maybe later. What are you going to do for the weekend, Naruto-kun? Well, I was thinking of just sitting around meditating, get more in touch with my chakra. What, you want to work on chakra control? How about you work on refining your Shizuka na Shi, don't you think? Maybe leave the village, find some bandits or something and be back before Monday. That does sound like an adventure. Alright, let's do it, Naruto said, getting his weapon pouch and filling it with explosive seals he made, smoke bombs, a few of his exploding scrolls, and kunai. He went and got his shuriken holder and wrapped it around his left leg. And put his pouch on the back of his right hip. He then put on a black cloak on and put the hood on to cover his blonde hair. He took his headband off and put it in his pocket, not wanting it to reflect any light. Seeing it was now dark, he made his way into the night towards the north. As he was jumping through the trees, he heard some panting to his right, and went to check what it was. As he landed on a tree branch that had a view of the clearing, he was perplexed to see Mizuki there with a huge scroll on his back. He stayed in the shadows and waited for Mizuki to do something. Ha ha, I did it. I have the forbidden scroll. HMPH, he must be a baka to stop and say something like that out loud. Wait, did he say the forbidden scroll? This is the perfect time to learn something new. You better hurry, only have about 30 minutes before the squad of Anbu gets here. So Naruto leapt off the branch and landed in front of Mizuki and said, well, look who brought me a present. Who are you? What are you doing here? Wait, is that you, demon? He said as Naruto lifted up his shades to show him his violet eyes. This is the perfect time for me to kill you before leaving the village. Mizuki said as he threw one of the Fuma shuriken at Naruto. But it just went through him. Bushin, when did you do that? He said, frightened, but it was too late as Naruto appeared behind him with a kunai to his neck. It doesn't matter now, die silently. He said as he slit his throat and kept a hand over his mouth to keep the gurgling quiet. 25 minutes. Hurry, copy the scroll and get out of there. Don't rush me, Akane. He muttered and opened the scroll and took out another scroll and copied some interesting jutsu. A wind jutsu called Uzu no Ken, and water jutsu called Mizu Hadoraden, and then Bushin Bakua. 5 minutes, get out now. Naruto finished up on his scroll, rolled up the forbidden scroll and shunshined out of there. heading further north in the forest. In the clearing, 5 minutes later, a squad of Anbu appeared in the clearing. Taicho, I think you should take a look at this. A rat Anbu said to his dragon captain. And soon they were all looking at a corpse of Mizuki with his throat cut and had a look of surprise on his face. Looked like he was surprised about who killed him. It doesn't seem like much of a battle happened here, only a thrown Fuma shuriken and a sliced throat, looks like the signs of a professional, and a fast one too. This ninja must have Junin speed to kill a Chunin, or even higher. A rabbit Anbu said. Bear, get the scroll. Rabbit, search the area for any signs of the other ninja in a 5-mile perimeter. Rat, you dispose of the body and then help me along with Rabbit. Hi, the squad said as they did their jobs, then started searching the area. With Naruto. Naruto was jumping through the trees when he felt strong chakra signals heading towards him, but they weren't going fast. It was like they were carefully checking everything around them. Oh shit, I have to keep my chakra levels down so no more tree hopping. But I still need to keep quiet. So he used the technique used with the Shizuka na Shi style, Shizuka na Shi Ojiko Shite. With this technique his footsteps would produce no sound whatsoever. As Naruto made it past 6 miles of the place where he killed the traitor, he started to feel the signals get farther and farther, as if they gave up. Woo, that got my blood pumping. I need some action right now. When he said that, he heard someone screaming and yelling for someone to stop. So he did the same he did with Mizuki, had stayed in the shadows of the trees, before he seen fire. Naruto had stumbled onto a bandit camp, that were, having fun, with some girls they took from a nearby village, farther north. There were about 10 of them in total and about 6 girls total, but 2 of them were dead, with fluids leaking out of various parts of the bodies, not to mention they were covered with it and blood. Naruto was about to interfere what they were doing when he seen 2 more be killed, with blood and fluids oozing on their heads. Naruto then leapt in there with a pair of kunai and used his speed to kill about 8 of them before their comrades noticed the others were dead. All of their throats being cut, the 8 bandits fell to the floor, and the 2 remaining girls backed up away from all the blood covering the floor. And that's when Naruto felt it. The Ki was filled with malice and made you want to fear the person producing it. And Naruto was feeling some of the fear. Naruto stood frozen in the middle of the bandit camp. This ki wasn't like any he had ever felt, and he felt a lot of ki. This Ki was very potent, and when he felt it let up a little, he seen some sort of mist roll through the area. Except this mist was red instead of the original blue. But then suddenly everything caught on fire, and the red mist caused it, which led me to believe it wasn't mist at all but maybe red hot ash. Then he seen the man that caused all of this. He walked calmly into the clearing. He had red hair going down his back much like his, and red eyes that shined with madness and murder, contradicting the calmness in his walk. He stood at 5 feet and 9 inches, wearing a red vest with no shirt underneath. Red and black cargo, camouflage pants. A black sash which held his sword. It had a black sheath, with flames dancing around it from the bottom to the top. A guard that looked like spread wings of some sort of bird, then the hilt was covered in red and black cloth with some yellow and orange being in the red, a magnificent blade indeed. He had plain black shoes. Now that Naruto got a good look at him, he noticed that he looked familiar, but he couldn't put his finger on it. But he did jump back, away from him and the 2 remaining bandits, who were complaining to the man that I ruined their fun, and in front of the 2 girls who were huddled together shaking from all of the Ki in the air. You 2 girls should get out of here. Now. He yelled at them when they didn't listen the first time. Who are you, Gaki? The man asked Naruto, not caring that the girls left. My name is of no concern to filthy rapist like you. Naruto said, removing his cloak, getting ready for the fight of his lifetime. Well, I would like you to know the man who is going to kill you. My name is Nagasashi Kiyoshiro, former member of Kiri's 7 swordsmen of the mist, and only one of them to specialize in fire, and wielder of Fenikusu Gakido no Sum, and also your executioner. The now named Kiyoshiro said as he put his hand on the hilt of his blade. Naruto cursed, realizing how he knew that name now. He was an A-rank missing nin that recently left his village after going mad with rage and destroyed the Mizukage's building, killing multiple people but not the Mizukage, but he was injured. Naruto sighed and started releasing his gravity seals he put on a year ago. Well, since you told me your name, I guess I got to tell you mine. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I don't think I can let you kill me. Naruto said, doing hand signs very fast. Finishing them, he said, Kaden. Zukoku, as the flames raced towards his foe, who jumped away from it, leaving the other bandits to cause the explosion to occur. Kyoshiro then appeared behind Naruto and slashed at his head, slicing it off. Naruto then turned into a log with an exploding tag on it. It blew up, but Kyoshiro wasn't in it, and Naruto already knew it and weaved through more hand seals, this time doing Raiden, Kaminari Okami, and thunder danced around his body just in time to shock Kyoshiro, who appeared to the side of him. Kyoshiro jumped back but had to keep jumping to avoid the thunder wolf that was heading towards him, when it suddenly dispelled by a very strong gust of wind. He quickly used chakra to stick himself to the ground when the ground split open, revealing darkness. He quickly shunshined to safety, seeing 3 Narutos in the clearing, figuring out that was how he did the jutsus so fast. When the clones dispelled, having wasted their chakra, Naruto turned to Kyoshiro in the tree, lightly panting. Pretty good, Gaki, but now it's time to get serious, he said as he drew his blade once more. Well, now that's what I'm talking about, now we can get to the real fight, Naruto said, talking off his shades, showing his violet eyes, before they started to change to red. Red eyes bore into red slitted eyes before Kyoshiro found a tree start growing from under him, binding him to it. Naruto, finding that the genjutsu work, started doing hand seals, but before he could finish them he was hit in the jaw by the once immobile Kyoshiro, who broke out of the genjutsu. Sorry, but that genjutsu won't work on me, as I have already encountered it once in my career. And I broke out of that one too. Naruto righted himself in the air and stuck himself to a tree he was about to hit. Damn, somebody else must also know that jutsu. And used it on him, he thought as his eyes went back to their violet color. Kyoshiro, seeing Naruto's eyes turn back to violet, made him think that he could only do the instant genjutsu when they are red. So he started doing some hand seals and said, Kaden, Gakido Fenikusu, and sent a huge phoenix at Naruto, who cursed and did the shunshin to move out the way. Naruto, seeing the explosion, made a Kage Bushin and thought, it's time to end this fight. Then had it launch him into the air and did some hand signs, Raiden, Reime Todorokaho, as he said that thunder cackled around his hand in a circle, at least 8 inches in diameter, before it converged to his hand and launched it at the clearing where Kyoshiro was. Kyoshiro was wondering where the brat was when he seen him being launched into the air and thunder appear. Oh shit, he exclaimed when he faintly heard the words and tried to jump out of the way when his feet were grabbed by the Kage Bushin from earlier. Seeing no escape, he took off his sword and threw it in the forest and said, well, at least I died fighting a worthy opponent. He mumbled as he got hit by the thunder cannon. It exploded at least 50 feet outwards and caused a huge earthquake to be felt for miles. Konoha. The people of Konoha felt the earthquake and were terrified for their homes that were violently shaking, and some even grew cracks in it. Hokage Tower. Sarutobi was drinking some tea, taking a break from his paperwork, after sending Mizuki to the morgue, and listening to the Anbu report, when the earthquake shook the building, causing the tea in his hands to go over the cup and land all over his cage robes. He yelled in pain at the heat and called the Anbu that just left. As they appeared in front of them, he spoke, find out what did that this. We don't get earthquakes, so it must not have been natural. Gather more Anbu and patrol inside and outside the village, in a 20-mile perimeter. Check if Iwa ninja are in the country. If they are, kill them or arrest them and bring them back here, he said, finishing his orders. Hi, Kami, damn it, these were my favorite robes. Wait, no, he said, checking the robe's pockets and finding his Ika book soiled and smelling like herbal tea. Not my Icha. He yelled and started crying. With Naruto. Naruto landed on the scorched forest floor, seeing Kyoshiro's body, barely intact. It seemed he tried to use chakra to lessen the damage but was still killed. Naruto seen his clone's memories and had to shudder at the charred remains of the once great Nagasashi Kyoshiro. Remembering that he threw the sword into the forest to the right, Naruto searched for it, hoping that it wasn't damaged too badly by the explosion. He found it in some fire, under a tree. After dousing it with some water and picking it up, he still found it hot to touch, but held on to it. When a flash of light appeared, he covered his eyes and heard flapping. He opened them to find a huge black and red phoenix in front of him. Who are you? Naruto questioned, tired and not wanting to get into another fight. That last jutsu used up a lot of my chakra. I don't think I can get into another fight and survive. Then don't try to provoke it, and speak calmly and respectfully. Akane told him. But before he could retort, the phoenix spoke. Ninjin, you have defeated my wielder and have shown great strength in your fight, but I can't remember your name. What is it? Naruto face faulted at this and told the bird his name. Okay, my name is Jigoku and I am the spirit that resides in this blade. And like some demons, I was sealed inside a blade for all of eternity. Jigoku said as he peered into Naruto's eyes as if searching his soul. You have another demon inside you. The phoenix spoke before an image of a roaring fox showed itself. It's the Kyuubi no Kitsune, so that must be the reason you're so strong when you're so young. You know Kyuubi and I share two things in common. What is that, Jigoku? Naruto said as he stared back into the phoenix's eyes. We're both fire demons, obviously, and we both like strong wielders of our power. He screeched as he dove towards Naruto's head and traveled through his body, then back into the sword, leaving some of its powers behind for Naruto. It happened so fast that Akane didn't have a chance to do anything to stop it, but Naruto's body started to change to accommodate the addition of a new power. But the only thing that really happened was that black and red streaks appeared in his already red-streaked blonde hair, and felt a little more stronger. I have accepted you as my new wielder, Uzumaki Naruto. Jigoku spoke from Naruto's mind. But I didn't ask to be your wielder. No, but you wanted to. I seen it in your eyes, you craved for my power and wanted it as your own. And plus you'll use me in many battles to come, and I want to help you win those battles. Naruto could practically feel him smirking and Akane spoke. You really shouldn't be surprised, Naruto-kun. We fire demons, love the thrill of battle and love the feel of bloodlust that comes with the battle. Oh, it's making me want to kill something now, just thinking about it. Akane said, wanting to be free for a few minutes so she could destroy something. Oh great, now I'm going to fight off double the bloodlust with you with me, Jigoku. Well, whatever, might as well get comfortable. You're not going anywhere. Naruto said as he used some black ribbon and tied the sword to his belt, loving the power it gave off. And couldn't believe that he defeated a member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist to get it. He then felt some chakra signatures nearby again and left the area to avoid being caught. He used the rest of his chakra to speed through the forest, going as fast as he could, putting a distance of 10 miles between him and the signatures. He then entered a nearby cave to rest from the fight and using the rest of his chakra to get there. He passed out with Akane to do all she can to restore his strength and heal his cracked jaw. Tomorrow, Saturday, 4:40 p.m. Naruto woke up and left the cave and went southwest to go around the nearby Anbu that were patrolling the area. He made it to a small village, purchased some more shades and a new cloak, to replace the ones he lost. He was glad they had them and gave them a tip. And finding that he only had enough money for small plate of dango, he saved it and went to hunt in the forest. Konoha, Monday morning. Naruto returned to the village just before the sun rose. And got as much rest as he could. He spent the whole weekend learning how to use the sword with Kage Bushins after finding more bandits and eradicating them. So when his alarm rung in his ear, he was mad that he couldn't get any more rest and went to the bathroom and took a long, much needed shower, brushed his teeth, and went and put on some new clothes. Now he wore a blood red skin tight shirt with a black jacket over it. The jacket was open, revealing the shirt and his much more developed muscles. He had the jacket customized to have weights built inside the material and a reinforcing seal on the inside to keep it as hard as steel to further protect him. He had new gloves that were black on top and red in the palms of it. They weren't anything special about them, but he thought they looked badass. He had some black and red cargo pants much like Kyoshiro had, and also a red sash to better hold his sword. He kept the same kind of boots with steel bottoms. He decided to get rid of the shades, finding that the fear his new red eyes put into people to be absolutely delightful. At first he was confused, then left it at, since another demon's chakra has entered into his system with its red chakra, it made his eyes go fully red. He missed his violet eyes but found more fear in people's eyes when he showed them his new eyes. That and the good old Kaneshibari no Jutsu were making killing the bandits a lot easier, as he had to kill them and take the money they had to pay for all of this. But now he had to make his way to the school and see what team he was on, and after being out of the village doing the things he was doing, he needed a break to rest his mind and body. When he entered the grounds, he found them to be empty, except the occasional person here or there. And now that he thought about it, he was dreadfully early to be here and must have accidentally set his alarm clock 2 hours earlier than he thought. He sighed at his stupidity and jumped to the academy roof to catch a few Z's waiting for the school's opening bell to wake him up. Naruto wakes up to the sight of clouds floating through the sky. He felt very relaxed and refreshed, and knew why Shikamaru liked to watch clouds, to get away from your problems. Well, it's like that for me. The academy's bell rung, signaling that it was nearing 8 o'clock and time to go to school. It was finally time to get a team go out on missions. And speaking of teams, who do you think I'm going to be teamed up with? I don't want you to have Sasuke or any of his fangirls after what you did to him Friday. Akane told Naruto. Oh, what did he do to this Sasuke person on Friday? After Akane told Jigoku about how Naruto humiliated Sasuke and used a Doden jutsu to pull him into the ground and then leaving him there to have his fangirls dig him out. Naruto then heard the sound of laughter all up in his head as Akane and Jigoku laughed at the expense of Sasuke, the so-called elite of the Uchiha. Ha ha ha, I knew I did that right thing in choosing you as my wielder. We're going to have so much fun. Jigoku said, finished laughing. Oh, you have no idea. Naruto muttered as he walked down the stairs of the roof into his classroom to know what team he is on. Hokage Tower. In the Hokage Tower were Junin that wanted to be senseis to this year of rookie ninjas. Some liked their selection of children while one specific Junin didn't like who he ended up with. That Junin was Hatake Kakashi, and even though he knew Naruto was his sensei's son, he didn't like how he acted, all cold to everybody, and disrespectful to everybody he meets. Junin, you would do to remember not to question my authority, and plus I need my strongest Junin to watch the demon and make sure he doesn't get too strong for its own good. I know you don't like it, but that team will only be doing D ranks anyway to prevent the demon from leaving the village. We wouldn't want it to find another place to go, right? We need things to torture here. Sarutobi sternly told Kakashi. Kakashi still didn't like how he had to have the demon on his team, but went with it anyway, seeing as his team wouldn't be doing any missions that required to do anything. Which gives me plenty of time to read Ika Ika. Kakashi thought as he giggled and stepped back. Asuma stepped up and said, Hokage-sama, may I ask why did you even let the demon become a ninja in the first place? Because Asuma-kun is a ninja, he will be under my control, and as a civilian he wasn't under my control. He would have ended up leaving the village and I would be able to legally send Hunter Ninja after him, but now I can since he is a ninja. And I also get to torture him with D-rank missions, then send him on a suicide mission when I get tired of him. Sarutobi said, smoking his pipe. Now you all know your teams, you're dismissed. The Junins left and waited until they had to get their teams later. Kurenai and Asuma knew how Kakashi was feeling, and were just glad that neither of them had to have the demon as their student. It's okay, Kakashi. Think about this, you get to kill him if he gets out of line. Kurenai said to Kakashi. Yuichi Kurenai was a very beautiful woman that specializes in genjutsu. She had long wavy raven black hair and red eyes. She wore a dress that resembles scrolls that wraps around her body with a red sleeve on her right arm. She also wears tape wrapped around each of her hands. Sarutobi Asuma is the son of the Sandame. And like his father, smokes. He has short black hair and a short beard. He wears the regular Junin outfit. He was jealous that Kakashi has the chance to kill the demon. He always wanted to kill a demon but never had the chance, and now Kakashi was stealing his chance. Man, you have all the luck, Kakashi. Did you say something? Kakashi replied, turning a page in his book. Don't do that to me, I'm not guy. Classroom. Naruto sat in his chair away from everybody else like usual. Bored out of his mind, Iruka Baka decided to give one last stupid lecture to the class about how he was proud to have taught them, excluding the demon, and wished them luck in being genins. Then he called out the teams, starting with 1. He called of names but none of them mattered except his, but when he heard it he didn't like the team. Team 7. Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, hot take that pig. And Uzumaki Naruto, aka the demon, your sensei will be Hatake Kakashi. Team 8. Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino and Hyuga Hinata, your sensei will be Yuichi Kurenai. Team 10. Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji, and Yamanaka Ino, your sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. Why do I have to be on Lazy Boy and Big Boy's team? Ino complained until Sakura told her, well, at least you have a human teammate, Ino pig. Ino, seeing the logic in that, said, Ha ha ha, you get stuck with the demon. Naruto was looking out the window while all this was happening. He didn't care as they were weak fangirls anyway. They all would burn with this miserable village one day. Well, at least he had something to look forward to. So he'll just wait everything out until that day comes. Until then, he best lay low and try to get on their good side, starting with the Uchiha. With his friendship, all their guards will drop, allowing him to get secrets of the village to sell to other villages. That is a great plan, Naruto-kun. Did I ever tell you that I love smart people? Only about every time I come up with a good plan of action. So you're going to betray your own village? Well, I'll hate to be your enemy. Jigoku mused, causing Naruto to chuckle evilly, which caused his classmates to creep away from him even further. Time to start the plan. Naruto thought as he seen various students get picked up by their senseis, leaving Sasuke, Sakura, and himself in the classroom, alone. Hey Sasuke, what do you think our sensei is going to be like? Naruto asked. Don't talk to Sasuke, demon. Sakura yelled at Naruto and then went back to fawning over the Uchiha. Naruto's eye was twitching and he was repeating, must not kill Banshee, over and over in his head. But Sakura, we are teammates. I thought that since that is the case we could put everything behind us and start anew. Naruto tried to reason with the pink Banshee. Naruto turned to Sasuke. What do you say, Sasuke? Truce. Sasuke just turned to him and glared at him. Are you still mad that I pulled you underground like that and left you there? Sasuke glared harder. Ah, come on, you have to forgive me for that. I was young and naive back then. Sasuke finally spoke. It was Friday, you bastard. Do you know how long it took for my worthless fangirls to dig me out? 10 minutes. Naruto suggested, and Sasuke got even madder. No, because they didn't do it. They took 2 hours to find someone that could do it for them. Do you know how embarrassing that is to be stuck in the ground for 2 hours? With no escape from fangirls that touch your face for the time you was there. Huh, do you? He ended his rant with the scream. Sakura just sat there still fawning over Sasuke, just loving the sound of his voice, but not understanding what he was saying. Naruto looked generally sorry and expressed it vocally. I'm sorry Sasuke, I had no idea they did that to you. I really am, from the bottom of my heart. I ask for your forgiveness. Naruto said, and Sasuke kept glaring for another minute, then stopped and said, fine, I'll put it behind me, just don't get in my way or I'll kill you. And to answer your question, I don't know, I never heard of him. Naruto smirked into his mask. Phase 1 complete. Yes Naruto, that was just awesome. I think you should get a career in the acting business. With your skills you'll be rich in no time. Jigoku said. Why thank you, I didn't know I was that good. Naruto-kun, you got that skill from me. You used a kitsune's skill in persuasion. It comes in handy with just about anything. Akane told Naruto, full of pride at seeing him use it so flawlessly. Kakashi was in the corner of the room watching all of it. He was surprised that the demon was sorry for what it did to Sasuke and thought that maybe this was a good thing. And if they became friends, then they would have perfect teamwork. So he made his presence known to the children. Hello, are you Team 7? Kakashi asked, feigning confusion. But Naruto knew he was there but played along. Yeah, we are. Are you our sensei? Naruto asked but already knew the answer. Why, yes, I am. Well, sensei, you're very late. We have been waiting for over 2 hours for you to show up. Oh, I am sorry it took me so long. You see, I got lost on the road of life. At this, all three of them face faulted and Sakura screamed, what kind of excuse is that? Yeah, where did you get that from? I need to use that. Naruto said, trying to get on the sensei's good side real fast. Well, I'll answer your questions later. Right now, meet on the roof in 5 minutes for an evaluation. Yeah, Kakashi said as he shunshined to the roof. Naruto and Sasuke quickly ran out of the room, racing to the roof. Hey, wait for me, Sakura said behind both of them. The academy roof. Kakashi was on the roof waiting for his students to get there, while reading his Ika. When Sasuke and Naruto came running through the door with an exhausted Sakura, he had to smile at how they were acting. They'll be friends in no time. Sasuke and Sakura were lightly panting while Naruto didn't look tired at all. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Pretty good. Now let's begin the evaluation. You're going to tell me your name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, and your dream for the future. How about you start, sensei? Sure, Sakura. Well, my name is Hitaki Kakashi. I like, I dislike, my hobbies and dream for the future. I don't think you're old enough for that. All three of the genin face faulted and sweat dropped at the same time, while thinking, all we found out were his name. Well, next is you, Pinky. Kakashi said, pointing at Sakura while she glared back. Kakashi just smiled. My name is Haruno Sakura. I like, she said, looking at Sasuke. My hobbies. She looked at Sasuke again. My dream for the future. She said, looking at him again, and this time added a squeal. And your dislikes. Kakashi said, knowing she missed a topic. Ino Pig and I would say Naruto Baka, but he is trying to change for my Sasuke. Naruto just had to inwardly smirk at the trust she was already developing for him. Alright, next you emo duck guy. At that, Sasuke glared. Sakura yelled at him not to call her Sasuke-kun such names, and Naruto, well, he was laughing his of in his mind with Akane and Jigoku. Oh my Kami, he called him an emo duck. Ah, I have to remember that. I'm already showcasing the word in your mind, you'll never forget this word. Ever. When Naruto got done mentally laughing his off, he seen his sensei point at him and say, now you copy K Tisyun. He glared at his sensei with a little potent key, when he noticed he was talking about the mask that he wore. Wait, I didn't hear Sasuke's. What, you didn't hear it? What were you thinking if it made you not hear it? Kakashi asked him. Well, I was laughing my off because you called him an emo duck. Naruto said casually, not feeling the ki from Sasuke and Sakura and also not seeing them glare at him. Yeah, it was funny, huh? Well, Sasuke said that he has no likes, dislikes, or hobbies. And his dream is not a dream but an ambition, and that is to kill somebody and avenge his clan. Kakashi said as he finally turned a page in his book. Well, that was useless. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like, I dislike, my hobbies, and my dream, he says as he shrugs his shoulders and mumbles, I don't know. The other two students' sweat dropped and face faulted so hard they made an indentation in the floor. Kakashi just smiled on the outside while on the inside he thought, like a true ninja, he didn't reveal any information. Should I be worried about this? Nah. Well, you truly are a copy fox, aren't you? Well, you should rest for the rest of the day because tomorrow we're going to have to see if you make the rank genin. What do you mean? Aren't we already genin? Sakura. That exam was only to see if we had the skills to pass it. Tomorrow we will be evaluated to see if we have the mindset to be ninja. Am I right, Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi-sensei. That has a nice ring to it. Oh yes, Naruto, tomorrow would truly test you to see if you're ready to be ninja, so rest well and be at training ground 7 at 7 o'clock tomorrow. A.M. Sakura didn't want to believe it. Yes. Oh, and don't eat breakfast or you'll throw up. Matt, what do you mean, Yane? Kakashi said, smiling and sunshined out of the conversation, both figuratively and literally. Well, that was fun. How about we go get something to eat, my treat? Naruto said, trying to get more on their side through another way, their stomachs. Well, if you're paying, lead the way, Dobi. Sasuke said, smirking at him. Alright, I will, emo duck. Sasuke's smirk turned to a frown and glared at the retreating Naruto. Wow, do you think Naruto is sick or something? I never seen him act like this in the academy. Sakura said, also looking at the retreating Naruto. I don't know, but this is a nice change to me. Maybe now I can finally have a friend. Come on guys, I'm starving. Naruto said to them, truly starving. As Sasuke and Sakura caught up to Naruto, they started looking for a place to eat, when they found a barbecue shop and entered. They were walking when they spotted Team 10 and started walking towards them. But halfway there they were stopped by a waitress that was trying to kick Naruto out of the place, not serving demons, but before she could say anything else, Sasuke stopped her and told her that Naruto was his teammate and should treat him with more respect. Team 10 heard the commotion and seen Sasuke standing up for Naruto. Guys, what do you think is wrong with Sasuke-kun? Why is he acting like he's the demon's friend? Ino asked the boys on her team, but it was surprisingly her sensei that answered, shocking all three of them with his answer. Maybe he is trying to get close to the demon to make it lower its guard and then kill it when it least suspects it. But neither of them had any chance to retort by a new voice starting. Or maybe I'm trying to be his friend so that when he spontaneously snaps back at the village he won't have a justification to come after me. Come on guys, let's find somewhere else to sit. Sasuke said, walking away looking for a new table. Wow, Sasuke, I didn't know you knew so many words. Naruto said, laughing at the red Sasuke. he didn't know whether it was from anger or embarrassment. But what Naruto didn't know was that Sasuke has been looking in the dictionary finding words and such after Naruto beat him in the vocabulary quiz a year ago, has been looking for a chance to use his new knowledge on him. Ninjas do have vocabulary quizzes, right? When they found a new table on the other side of the restaurant and ordered some food. Back with Team 10, the students were puzzled. Sensei, do you really, chomp, think Naruto will, chomp, go crazy and destroy the, chomp, village? Choji questioned his teacher, eating between his words. Choji, he might with the way everybody treats him. Well, shouldn't we try to get on his good side, like Sasuke, so he doesn't hurt us too? Ino said frantically. Doing all that work is troublesome. This whole conversation about Naruto is troublesome. Shikamaru said, trying to find a right way to sleep with his head on the table when Ino hit him on the head. Why does she always have to hit me? Shikamaru thought as the story went back to Team 7. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were eating their order when Naruto said, alright, what is the plan for tomorrow? We're obviously going to have to fight Kakashi-sensei, so do any of you have any ideas? If not, then let me tell you mine. Well, since we know that we have to fight Kakashi, then I think we should brainstorm all of our plans and pick the best one. Sakura said, all bookwormy. Well, let's do that. And remember how he told us not to eat breakfast? Well, eat breakfast. You're going to need to focus on the objective, and being hungry does the opposite of that. Oh, and since he was late today by at least 2 hours, we should show him some payback and get to the training ground around 9 o'clock. Yeah, that would show him not to be late. Sasuke had to smirk at the ingenious of Naruto's plan. Sakura, however, voiced her opinions. Yeah, sweet payback, she said, giving off laughter that was joined by the other two. Of course, Naruto's was truly evil. After eating their food and finalizing their plans, they went their separate ways. This is when Akane decided to voice her thoughts. Don't you think you're getting a little too close to them? What happened to the plan for gaining the Uchiha's trust and using his name to have him get secrets of the village to then later betray said village and destroy it later on? Don't worry, Akane-chan, the plan is still going. I just thought I should have fun while doing it, you know. Well, you don't want to get too close or else things will get catastrophic later. Jigoku added, joining their conversation. And don't you think it's weird that nobody even asked where I came from, or anything? And now that Naruto thought about it, nobody had asked the demon when he got such an elegant blade, and where said blade came from. That is weird now that I think about it. He thought as he entered his apartment to take a shower and then go to his shack to sleep a good sleep, since it was only about 10 minutes of running away from it. Naruto sat on a mat in the middle of his shack, with seals covering the whole upper right side of his body, and a cage bunchen finishing the seals on his hands, before doing a long sequence of seals, then pressing his hands on Naruto's bicep and saying, Ketsuki Chozo Fuin. Then all of them blood ink started to converge and make shapes before finalizing on the shape of a phoenix, that looked like it was flying down Naruto's arm. But there wasn't any color in the drawing, so it didn't look as badass as it would if there was color. There you go, boss, a blood storage seal for your Fenikusu Gakido no Sume. The original inspected his arm. This is good. I like how these two tails curve around my shoulder and rest on the right side of my chest. You did good, now you're dismissed. At this, the clone disappeared. Naruto then stood up, walked to his shirt and jacket and put them on, but now that the sleeve of the jacket covered his tattoo, he didn't like it. So he torn the sleeve off, along with the left one, not wanting to be tacky. Nice, just perfect. Now to test it. Naruto then walked to his sword and sealed it. Hello, Jigoku. Can you hear me? Naruto waited for his answer. Hey Jigoku, are you there? Yes, I'm here. Can't I get any sleep? Jigoku told him, now woken up. Oh good, it worked. I could still talk to you while you're sealed. Okay, you could go back to sleep. It's too late now, I'm woke now. What happened to Akane? I would usually hear her, but I can't. Jigoku asked. I don't know, I think she was asleep like you, and didn't want me to wake her up, so she cut her side of the mental link. I think it was very smart of her, not like you. Naruto teased the ancient phoenix. Be quiet. He yawned. How are your clones doing with those forbidden jutsus you were telling me about last night? Jigoku asked, wondering when he'll be done with that training so he could start Tortu Air teaching him again. As Jigoku asked Naruto this question, Naruto walked outside to see about 100 of his clones working on the Uzu no Ken. Some were doing it well, while others weren't. He could hear the destruction his other clones were doing with the Mizu Hadoraden at the nearby waterfall he made. The Bunshin Bakua he mastered on his vacation. He dispelled all of his separately, 5 at a time, and when he was done he answered back. Let's see, the Uzu no Ken is still a little unstable and the Mizu Hadoraden is missing the maximum amount of heads it could make and I still can't make it shoot any bullets after separation. Naruto responded while making 300 more cage bunshins and splitting them up, 150 each jutsu. Alright, I want group 1 to work on the Hydra. Split yourself up to 50 clone a group. The clones did as asked. Alright, now group 1A, I want you to work on the number of heads that could get made. Go. That group left. Group 1B, I want you to work on the separation speed. Move it. That group left. Now group 1C, I want you to work on the water bullets these things could fire off. And hurry up. After that group left, he turned to the other 150 clones. You guys know what to do, so get to work. Naruto then left, walking towards his apartment for some grub, when he passed a patrol clone. Patrol clones had a simple job: if they seen anybody coming in the direction of the shack they were to dispel, sending the information to Naruto and the remaining clones, telling them to stop training and dispel themselves, leaving nothing behind. He nodded at the clone, but then stopped walking. He was thinking about something in his past. Like exactly how he got this place of solitude. Flashback, 4 years ago. Naruto's apartment was just emptied out of all of its stuff and was sitting outside on fire. He had to again thank himself that he keeps everything of value on himself. Having no place safe to go and be by himself, he walked to the only place he knows nobody goes. As he made it on top of the Hokage mountain faces, he seen somebody already there. Scared, he turns around and was about to run when the stranger talked. It's okay, I won't hurt you. Naruto turned around and inspected the individual. The man was wearing Anbu armor and a weasel mask. He knew then that he was dangerous, as he couldn't trust the Anbu because the Anbu were the ones that always found him when he tried to hide, and drop me off in the red light district, to get beat up by drunken adults. He was about to run away again when Teen spoke again. I said it was okay and I wasn't going to hurt you. Weasel, still seeing the doubt in the kid's eyes, suggested, how about I take off my mask, will that quell your fear? Naruto knew that Anbu weren't supposed to take off their masks to keep their identities a secret, and if this Anbu was going to show his face then he couldn't be all that bad. So he nodded, causing the Anbu to take off his mask, revealing the face of Uchiha Itachi. See, I told you, you have nothing to fear. Naruto finally got close enough to get a good look at the 14-year-old Anbu member. He had coal black eyes and lines on the sides of his nose, and dark black hair in a short ponytail. After the inspection, Naruto sat on the Yondaime's head, not wanting to be the Sandame's head. He knew it was the Yondaime that sealed the Kyuubi inside of him, but he always felt safe sitting on his head and he didn't know why. Itachi smiled at that and went to sit on the Yondaime's head also. And seeing Itachi sit next to him, he asked who he was. Well, my name is Uchiha Itachi. I'm 14 years old and a member of Anbu. I came up here because they wanted me to be a captain and I wanted to weigh the options of choosing whether I should or shouldn't. Wow. Itachi smiled again and asked what he was doing up here, since he is the only person that he knows of that goes atop the Hokage's mountain faces. I come here all the time, when I'm feeling down or want to truly get away from the people in the village. And they never come up here, so that's why. Naruto said, sad again, remembering what recently happened to his place. So what happened now? If you only come up here when you're sad or something happens to you, then something must have happened now. Itachi asked him after seeing his downtrodden face. Well, my place just got emptied out of all its stuff and set on fire right outside of the apartment complex. Well, how about you live up here where no one knows where you are, and only got to your apartment to take showers and eat and stuff like that. Itachi told Naruto, causing Naruto to get happy and hug Itachi. That's a great idea. Thank you, Itachi. Itachi returned the hug and asked, how about after I help you build your little establishment, how about I teach you some fire jutsus, alright? But you can't tell anybody, keep it a total secret. Naruto just tightened the hug and thanked Itachi over and over. 1 month later, Naruto has learned a lot, after being taught by Itachi and Akane. Itachi even knows about Akane, and Akane threatened Itachi to not tell anybody of the relationship he has with Naruto. Sometimes Naruto would call Itachi Ni-san. Itachi never minded, he actually liked it, and called him Otudo back. Itachi Ni-san, I learned all the chakra control exercises. What do I do now? Itachi turned to Naruto and said, I'm sorry Naruto Otudo, I have to go on a mission and I won't be coming back. I just came over here to give you a scroll on the other elements to get you started alright. I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of wind or lighting jutsus in the library, but I am giving you some I know. After hearing Itachi say that he wasn't going to come back, he started to feel sad about his brother leaving him. Why do you have to leave? It's a mission, isn't, so you have to come back to report. Naruto said, clutching onto the scroll. That may be true, but not this one. Itachi, seeing Naruto about to say something, kept going. You'll find out tomorrow what my mission was, and don't worry, we'll see each other again. Naruto just watched as Itachi left and then turned around and headed back to his shack to store and learn from the scroll. Release flashback. And he did find out Itachi Ni-san's mission. It was the elimination of the Uchiha clan, but Naruto knew Itachi wasn't that strong to kill off his entire clan in one night. He knew Itachi had help, but from who he didn't know. Noticing that he stopped moving and was still in the same spot, he shunshined the rest of the way to his apartment. And ate some of the food that was there. After eating and taking another shower, he left on his way to the training ground. Noticing the time said 8:56 a.m., so he left the house, not bothering to lock up since he didn't have anything valuable to him in there, and shunshined to the training ground, just as the clock struck 9 o'clock. Now at the training ground he seen his teammates but no sensei. Hey Sasuke, where is Kakashi? I could have sworn the plan would have worked. Sasuke, hearing his teammate, looked up and answered back, I don't know, me and Sakura has been here since 8:30, and she has been annoying the hell out of me. Where the hell were you? Sasuke said, pushing the sleeping Sakura off his shoulder, knowing she wasn't asleep. Come on Sasuke-kun, you know you was liking it earlier when Naruto wasn't here. Sakura said, leaning back on Sasuke. Naruto just stood there, not believing his ears. Whoa Sasuke, were you really liking what she was doing to you? Okay, I'll leave so you could go back to doing whatever you was doing. Naruto laughed while walking away. Wait Naruto, get ba. He would have said more, but a puff of smoke alerted him and Naruto of the arrival of their sensei. Oh thank Kami you're here sensei, what do we got to do? Sasuke said, getting up real quickly, causing Sakura to lean onto the ground and become angry at Kakashi. Sensei, why are you so early? Me and Sasuke were having some quality time. Naruto and Kakashi sweat dropped while Sasuke looked like a frightened animal about to get put down. Okay Sakura, I'll be back in 30 minutes, don't do anything I wouldn't do. He chuckled and was about to leave when Sasuke begged him to stay and give them the test. Kakashi looked at his students, Sasuke who was on his knees begging him to start the test, Sakura who had hearts in her eyes looking at Sasuke, and Naruto who was watching all of this smirking, and he could tell he was smirking since he wore a mask and knew the outline a smirk makes. He decided to make Sasuke suffer for a while when he noticed Naruto's tattoo. Hey Naruto, where did you get that tattoo? It looks professional, and I doubt that somebody from this village would do that. So where did you get it at? Naruto didn't panic or nothing, he just pretended not to hear him and responded saying, Sensei, when are we going to get this test started? I need to fight something. Naruto said, feeling desire to shed some blood, as his eyes glowed red. Kakashi, noticing this, decided to start this thing and get away from Naruto before something or someone gets hurt. Alright, the objective is to get these 2 bells from me by noon. Naruto calmed down a little and wondered where the hell he got those bells because he didn't dig in a pocket or nothing. Sensei, but there's only 2 of them, and there is 3 of us, one of us won't get a bell. Sakura said, observing the 2 bells. Well yes, I was just about to get to that. If one of you doesn't get a bell, then that person is going back to the academy. Naruto, noticing the flaw in this, spoke up. Wait, then that would go against the rules, as I have never heard of a 2-man genin team. So since you can't do that, the bells must be to break up the team and have us lose focus of the objective at hand, which is to get the bells together, since I don't know a genin that could take on a junin by themselves. Well, except for me, Naruto added in his mind. Sasuke and Sakura weren't really surprised at that, since they had talked about it yesterday, with the plan and everything, except they didn't know about the whole bell thing. But Kakashi was again thinking about if he should be worried that he was smart enough to see through his plan already. Well, that may be true, but do you know what the true purpose of the test is then? Kakashi asked Naruto. Naruto, well, he didn't have to really think about it and answered, it's teamwork. Now can we just have a team sparring match against our new sensei, since we foiled your evil plan? Naruto said, taking out Senbon needle and twirled it around his fingers, with a bored look on his face. Everybody just stared at Kakashi waiting for his answer. Fine, we'll fight. Now let's see how strong you are. Come at me with the intent to kill, or you're not going to get far in this business. At this, all three of the students got ready to execute the plan they talked about yesterday. When the signal was given, they disappeared, except for Naruto, who was stalling and giving the others time to get into position. Naruto, you know you're supposed to hide, right? You're not showing your smarts by standing there. Kakashi said, taking out his book, and that's when Naruto substituted his book with a rock, and ran. When Kakashi seen Naruto run with something orange in his hand, he looked down and noticed he was holding a rock. When the hell he do that? Hey brat, get back here with my precious. Kakashi yelled with fire in his eye and gave chase. As Naruto was jumping through the trees, he heard Kakashi yelled and sensed him right behind him. So he jumped down and landed in a clearing where a fire was set up and put the book over it, waiting for Kakashi to go on to the targeting position. When Kakashi landed on the floor and seen his book above a fire, he tried to reason with Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing? That's an autographed copy of the first issue. It was my first Ika. Don't burn it. He started to shed tears. And when the tears started to roll, wires came and wrapped around his body, or at least tried to, as he carried out of the way and close enough to his book to snatch it out of Naruto's hands, and jumped back with another rock. Ah, where did this rock come from? And when the rock hit the ground, it turned back into an orange book. Oh no, my Ika has touched dirt. No. Jiraiya-sama, please forgive me. Kakashi was too busy crying to notice his student's sweat dropping at his behavior. What's wrong with him? This is not how I imagined a Junin to act. Sasuke informed his teammates, confused with the way Kakashi was acting. I know it's creepy to think that he's praying to a god of. Maybe we should go to the Hokage and ask for a different sensei. Sakura added, watching Kakashi cradle his book, rocking back and forth. Naruto was just taking pictures of the whole thing to use as blackmail material for later on. Nah, I don't think we should do that. At least we won't be bored if he is going to act like this every time we take his book, and plus with these photos we should have him wrapped around our fingers. Naruto, seeing Kakashi clean the rest of the dirt off his book and stand up, quickly put the camera away and acted like they all were just watching him, cause that is exactly what they were doing. Kakashi, seeing this, just rubbed the back of his head sheepishly and asked if they wouldn't tell anyone what just happened. They all smirked and said okay, until Naruto spoke, can we fight now? Well, we would have if you didn't take my book like that. Kakashi said, glaring at Naruto. Naruto just smiled and said, well, this whole thing was a part of our plan, so we could pass your test, and now that we're done, can we fight? He asked again. Sure. Sakura, you're first. Sakura jumped up and asked why she had to go first. Kakashi just turned around and walked back to the other clearing after putting the fire out, leaving them to walk behind him. Back in the original clearing, Sakura and Kakashi spared. It was over quickly, but he did give her chances and told her she would have to take the job seriously and get rid of her fangirlish ways if she didn't want to be killed. She nodded sadly at that and walked back to a tree and sat down. Next was Sasuke. He charged at Kakashi, blocked his punch, and when Sasuke jumped into the air and sent another punch, he blocked that one. In the air, Sasuke sent a kick at Kakashi when he was thrown back a couple of feet. He charged again, except this time faked a left punch and sent another kick at Kakashi's right knee, hoping to gain an advantage. Kakashi just jumped over it and let Sasuke slide under him, and when he turned around, he seen fireballs coming at him. With a simple substitution, he was out of danger. This time he went on the offensive and sent punches and kicks at Sasuke, overwhelming him. Finally he sent a leg sweep, knocking Sasuke off his feet and put his foot on his chest. Sasuke, you did good. You just need to control your emotions, and not charge in fights without thinking about strategies. I'll get you some books on strategies. And then after you're done with that, we'll spar again. Taking his foot off of Sasuke, he stepped back and waited for Sasuke to get out of the way. But Naruto was impatient and gave Kakashi a kick to the side of his head, sending him into a tree. Naruto then waited for Kakashi to come back into the clearing. Kakashi came back and scolded Naruto. Naruto, did I give you the signal to begin? Now let's see how good your taijutsu is. Naruto now got into a stance. He had his left foot in front of him, and his right foot behind him. His body was to the right, making his torso turn sideways. His left arm was bent to the right with his right arm behind his back. This was the stance to the Shizuka Nashi, and Naruto was pumped to fight. Kakashi, noticing the weird stance, decided to get a little serious. Kakashi was about to charge when he seen Naruto disappear. He looked around, not finding Naruto, when he was kicked and launched back into the trees. Naruto appear again in the same place, still in the same stance. Come on Kakashi, I know that didn't take you out of this fight. Kakashi walked back into the woods with a little blood running down his face and over his right eye. He was caught a little off guard by his speed, but he didn't want to reveal his trump card, but he didn't think he had a choice. Kakashi, I think you should take this fight very seriously, as you did tell us to come at you with the intent to kill. Now lift up your headband and take this fight seriously, or you're not going to live to see the next day. Naruto told him while taking his gravity seal off. Kakashi, sensing the change, lifted his headband, revealing his Sharingan. Surprising his students, even Naruto, who never knew about the eye being there, but still had a suspicion about why it was covered. So that's the legendary Sharingan. Well, this fight just got interesting. And that's when both fighters charged at each other. Naruto, still being faster than Kakashi, was sending punches and kicks at Kakashi, but Kakashi had the Sharingan and was predicting some of his movements when his eye seen him. The fight was very fast, too fast for Sasuke and Sakura to see. Holy shit, when did Naruto get this strong? Sakura asked Sasuke. Sasuke was seething at seeing Naruto. I knew he was strong, but not this strong. Where did he get this power? I need it to kill my brother. And where did Sensei get a Sharingan? Back to the fight, we finally see Naruto get kicked back and skidding across the field. And taking a breather. Kakashi was just as tired, if not more. Fighting at that speed was not his thing. I think now is the time to worry about Naruto, if he is this strong. Naruto didn't give him any more time to think when he did some hand signs and sent a huge light blue fireball at Kakashi. Kakashi, noticing what jutsu was being done, jumped out of the way, not believing the fireball was the size it was. That fireball was bigger than my whole apartment building. And why was it blue? Seeing Kakashi jump out the way, Naruto thought, Hi no Dongon, and sent a nearly white, but still had the blue color, fireball at him. This time it was smaller and thus faster. Kakashi, seeing it coming right for his head and not having time to jump out the way, tilted his head just in time for it to pass by. It was a good thing his hair went the other way or it would be gone. Naruto, seeing Kakashi dodge that one, covered his hands in blue fire and charged at Kakashi. Kakashi, not wanting to get into another taijutsu battle with his flame-handed student, called the match and covered his eye, mad that he practically lost the fight. Naruto, who was about to send a flame punch at Kakashi, ended his jutsu and jumped over him, and landed behind him. That was an awesome fight, Kakashi-sensei, you were really good. That was the most fun I had in a long time. We should do this again sometime. Naruto said, laughing at the look Kakashi had. Aw man, how come you didn't use me, man? I need action too. I'm sorry Jigoku. How about next time? Or definitely during a mission. You better. And nice job with the fire. You're making fire demons everywhere proud. Really? I don't know, but you're making me and Akane proud. Jigoku told him. Why isn't Akane talking then? She's still asleep. Alright then, I'll talk to her later then. While Naruto was talking to Jigoku on the inside, he was twirling his Senbon needle on the outside, not paying any attention to Kakashi talking to Sasuke and Sakura about him. Hey Sasuke, was Naruto this strong in the academy? Kakashi said, holding his bruised hip. Now that I have seen this, I am positive that he was holding back a lot of his strength. I don't even think that's all he could do. Sasuke said, glaring at Kakashi's eye. Now how come you have the Sharingan? The last time I checked, you're not part of the Uchiha clan. Kakashi, seeing this coming, told him hold his questions for later. Kakashi then turned to his last student, watching him twirl the Senbon. Naruto, when did you get your strength? Naruto stopped talking to Jigoku right when this question was asked. Well, I trained for it. Duh, and I know you was trying to copy my techniques, and that's why I only did jutsus you already knew. Naruto said, smirking at the end. But, What about that last jutsu? I couldn't copy that, and why was the flames blue? Kakashi asked, pointing to a burning tree. Sorry sensei, but that's a secret I can't share with you. Kakashi, giving up, spoke. Alright, well, you guys are officially Team 7. We will meet here every day at 8 a.m. to train and then missions. Kakashi said and shunshined away to the hospital to get his ribs checked. Now with Kakashi gone, Sasuke walked to Naruto. Fight me, Dobi. Sasuke said, glaring at him. Sorry Sasuke, but I'm going to have to refuse. I just got done fighting Kakashi and I need to rest. That man has an incredible right hook. Naruto walked away holding his jaw. Sensing that Sasuke was charging him, he shunshined out of the way into the village. Hokage Tower. In the Hokage Tower were the same Junin senseis. Except this time they were telling the Hokage if the teams they had either failed or passed. But only 3 teams could pass, and if there were more, the Hokage would pick the 3 teams and the others would go back to the academy to try again. They would have been done with this meeting already if it wasn't for a certain Cyclops, who always wants to be late for everything. Hokage-sama, can we just start the meeting without Kakashi? A random Junin said. At the Hokage's nod, the senseis began to list off the failing and passing teams, and after the sensei for Team 5 was about to fail his team, Kakashi walked in the room with bandages over his ribs and a little dried blood coming from his healed head. Kakashi, what the hell happened to you? The Hokage asked his soldier. Kakashi just kept it walking and stopped beside Kuranai and Asuma. I'll answer that during my report. Hokage just nodded and signaled for Team 5's sensei to go. They failed, as did Team 6. Team 7 passed. Everyone didn't believe that Kakashi actually passed a team, and Kuranai was even checking if she was under a genjutsu. Everybody even backed away from him, thinking he was sick and didn't want to catch what he had. Kakashi. He was sweat dropping at this and asked Kuranai to quit saying Kai so loud, as it was hurting his ears. The Hokage, even though he wanted Naruto to pass so he could give him never-ending D-rank missions, still couldn't believe that Kakashi passed a team. Kakashi, explain what they did to pass. Well, first of all, when I was explaining the test, when Sakura asked why there was only 2 bells, I told her that the student that didn't have a bell would go back to the academy, just like I do with every team I get. But then Naruto goes into detail about why that can never happen and teams don't go into 2-man cells and the bells must be here to break up the team, and told me that genins could take on a Junin, unless they used teamwork to do it. After explaining, everybody was muttering about the demon and everything. But that still doesn't tell me why you look like that, if you passed the team. The Sandame asked him, seeing something wrong with the story. And at that all the other Junin agreed, nodding their heads and looking at Kakashi for an explanation. After that Naruto asked if the team could do the test anyways since they had a plan, and the plan targeted something precious to me, so of course the plan worked. And after that Naruto again asked if the team could spar. I just think he needed to fight, so I accepted. And they all fought me. All the other Junin then got the bright idea that it must have been the last Uchiha that hurt Kakashi this badly, but Kakashi told them it was Naruto, and Sasuke did land a single hit on him. Everybody again started yelling in outrage at this about the demon being too weak to do anything to a Junin. The Hokage just listened, thinking of something to do. And when Kakashi was done explaining the fights he had with his students, talked, Kakashi, I have a plan. I need you to attack Naruto while telling him I want to see him. I'm giving him a new sensei. You're not adequate enough to tame him, if he nearly killed you in a simple spar. The whole room was silent. They had never seen a team be split apart so quickly, for such a reason as one of the students being stronger than the teacher. Kakashi wasn't liking the idea and complained about it, but Hokage-sama, if you split apart the team you'll mess up the whole team dynamics and their teamwork. Kakashi, wasn't it you that didn't want Naruto on your team in the first place? Kuranai asked. Kuranai, that was different, that was before I actually met the boy. When I seen him he was trying to be friends with Sasuke and even apologized to the boy for doing what he did, and the last time I checked demons don't apologize to anyone about anything. Kakashi rounded at Kuranai. And also demons don't laugh and hang around friends like me and my team saw. Asuma said, referring to the time at the bar BQ place. And it seemed that Sasuke had returned his friendship, and the last time I seen the Uchiha, he was always depressed and never had something nice to say. And at the bar BQ place, where me and my team went to celebrate their passing, we seen Sasuke standing up for Naruto, and Naruto didn't even send a glare or anything at the waitress and just joked around with Sasuke. I don't think demons like to have friends. Hokage to-sama. Asuma ended his speech with a soft tone to better talk to his father. So your team passed Asuma. Hi. Well, what about you, Kurenai? Hi. Alright, everyone else is dismissed. Now Kakashi, I want you to make Naruto think you betrayed him, so it'll be easier to put him on a different team, and make it believable. If you say he is as strong as you say, then I'm going to need him on higher missions and not waste him on D ranks, like I plan to. So you only want him off my team so he could do higher ranking missions, but I thought you hated him. The Hokage, for all of his power, felt guilt at something. It was like one half of himself was fighting the other half. I still do, but I've been putting myself in his shoes these past 4 years, thinking about everything I did to him, and I don't know, I feel guilty. So you finally realized that he was just an innocent child that was subjected to a cruel fate, and you just made that fate even worse by not helping him. The Hokage put his head down in shame at Kakashi's words. Hi. And every time I look at Minato's picture on the wall, I feel as if I'm betraying him, with the way I'm treating his son. Every time I look at his picture, he is scowling at me, and I just feel ashamed at my own behavior. And that's why I need you to do this. I want him to take all of his anger out on something, but it's not going to be me. So tomorrow attack him, or I'll make you do D rank missions for a year before publicly executing you for disobeying a direct order. The Hokage ended his speech with a wave of his hand, dismissing Kakashi, who was regretting what he was going to do to Naruto tomorrow. With Naruto was walking into the village when he decided not to and go to a different training ground to get some extra training in, since he didn't feel like walking to his shack to train, and didn't want to go back to training ground 7 as he might pass Sasuke, who wants to fight, especially after seeing his fight with Kakashi. But as he was walking, he started to hear the sound of a fist hitting wood. Still pumped from his fight with Kakashi, he walked in the clearing, seeing something he wished he didn't, but it was too late as they had already seen him. Yash, it seems a youth has come here to keep his flames of youth alive. Hi Guy-sensei, this youth-filled person looks strong for someone so youthful. I must spar with him to test my youth. And if I can't do that, then I'll do 500 push UPS. Naruto had walked into a freak show. There were 4 people in the clearing, 2 twins wearing green spandex bodysuits with orange leg warmers, a Hyuga wearing a beige shirt and blue shorts, and a girl with 2 buns in her hair, wearing a pink Chinese-style shirt and baggy bluish pants. And in the middle of the short twin's speech, the girl hit the second twin in the head, shutting him up. I'm sorry, stranger, but Lee can get so energetic just like sensei. Hi, my name is Tenten, and that's Hyuga Neji, and those 2. I am the green beast of Konoha, and taijutsu specialist Maeda Guy. And I am Konoha's second green beast and taijutsu specialist Rock Lee. That's the spirit, Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. Quick look away. The Hyuga yelled, but it was too late for Naruto, who was staring dumbly at the whole thing and didn't hear the warning, and thus was subjected to the full force of the sunset that appeared when the 2 spandex-wearing freaks hugged. You could swear that you could see his eyes burning. I mean, they were smoking and everything. Ah, my eyes, SSSSS, they burn. Please stop the pain. You could see Naruto on the floor rolling around, and in Naruto's mind you could hear the screams of Jigoku and Akane, who finally woke up, and they too were subjected to the sunset, and they tried everything but they couldn't get rid of the image of the sunset from his mind. It's not working. Jigoku, quit burning it, you're making it stick more. Sorry, but we need to get this out of here. Tenten and Neji then ended the sunset by separating the 2, but Naruto was still on the ground rolling around and yelling for somebody to end the pain. So Neji did the same thing he did to himself when he first seen the dreaded sunset. He went over to Naruto and cut him in the arm, causing Naruto to focus on something else. Ow, why did you cut me, man, that hurt? Hey, I don't see a sunset anymore, thank you. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I'm sorry I didn't catch your names. He said, looking in Tenten and Neji's direction. Tenten's sweat dropped and told him her name again, and Neji did the same, very apathetically, not caring about him anymore. Forgive these 2. Like I said, they always talk about youth and flames and some other stupid stuff. So they always do this? Naruto asked, looking at the 2. I feel sorry for you. You have one weird sensei. Hey, don't talk about Guy sensei like that. He doesn't deserve it. Rock Lee came to his sensei's defense. Wait, you said that we have a weird sensei, so who is yours? Tenten asked Naruto. My sensei is Hitaki Kakashi. Oh, you have my eternal rival as your sensei, I knew it. You must be the copy of Kakashi like Lee is my copy. Guy yelled and laughed at the irony of the situation about how Kakashi would never corrupt any of his students and now he has a student here with a mask like Kakashi's. Lee hearing about Kakashi yelled, wait, you are the student of Kakashi, then you must read that unyouthful stuff Kakashi reads and is aloof to everything and has a hip attitude to everything. So that means, like Kakashi is Guy sensei's rival, you must be my rival. Lee said all of that in one breath, amazing Naruto, until he caught on to what he was saying. Hold up, are you saying because Kakashi is my sensei that I have to be your rival, and because I have a mask I'm his copycat? He asked, and at seeing them nod, he face faulted at the stupidity of it all. First of all, I got this mask way before I met Kakashi, I don't read like he does, and my attitude is not hip. But I will be your rival, if you give me a good fight. Tenten and Neji smacked their foreheads with the hands while listening to Guy and Lee cheer at Lee getting a new rival. Then it's settled. Naruto-kun and Lee-kun will spar right now to settle the agreement of being youthful rivals. Naruto just stood there and thought, what did I get myself into now? I don't know, but you better not lose or I'm not talking to you anymore. Akane told him from his mind. Akane, when did you wake? Just in time to get tortured by a killer sunset. But Naruto couldn't talk anymore as Guy started the spar. And Naruto had to act fast to dodge the speedy missile kick that was Rock Lee. Damn, that was fast. And that is what the fight was, Naruto and Lee going very fast, fighting each other, sending punches and kicks, blocking punches and kicks, and dodging punches and kicks. Lee sent another punch at Naruto, but Naruto grabbed his fist and sent his own, which was grabbed, and they struggled for dominance, when Lee suddenly dropped to the ground and said Konoha Senpo and jumped up and kicked Naruto in the chin about 3 times before Naruto was sent flying into a tree by the 4th kick, and he was dazed. Naruto recovered and launched out of the foliage and sent a surprise punch to Lee, and more series of punches before kicking him in the air and jumping up after him, doing more punches, before one was blocked and missed the other one, and Lee kicked him back down to the ground, where he landed on his feet, and Lee did the same. I can't believe you blocked my Ryu no Hoko, you're very good to get out of that. Now let's see what you got against my Hanu no Mai. He spoke when his hands lit in blue fire. When Guy ended the spar, with a series of claps. Excellent Naruto-kun, your taijutsu is superb, and your style is great, what is it anyway? Guy asked. Naruto sighed at never getting to fight with Hanu no Mai and deactivated his flames. And told Guy, it's Shizuka na shi no Geijutsu, and it took me 4 years of hard training to get to master this lost art. Naruto said, full of pride at his accomplishment. While Guy was astonished that he learned a lost and deadly art. Who taught you this? Because nobody in this village knows that style, and it is considered a legendary style that focuses on only speed, precision, and keeping your chakra signature to an absolute 0 to avoid detection. You must have perfect chakra control to do that. Guy, still amazed that someone so young has perfect chakra control. Nah, I don't have perfect chakra control, I put a chakra limiter on myself in the beginning of the training, to help me learn the art. See, Naruto showed them his chest, causing Tenten to blush, and used chakra to make a tattoo appear. The tattoo was a picture of the Kyuubi's back and showed her tails, where 2 of the tails were glowing purple, one was fully purple and the other was only halfway purple, telling them how much of his chakra was sealed up. I used this to keep my reserves at the level of an ordinary cage, and every time I get more chakra it goes in here to not mess up the flow of chakra and my control of my chakra with it. I designed it myself. Naruto told them all. So you must be a master in the art of Fuinjutsu, to come up with this. Guy told him. No, not a master. Jiraiya of the Sannin and Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, were masters of the art. I'm an amateur compared to them. The only other things I made with Fuinjutsu were this Ketsuki Chozo Fuin, containing my sword, and. At the word sword Tenten perked up. Sword, can I see? Naruto stopped talking and looked at Tenten's pleading look. Okay. Sure. Naruto said, biting his finger and swiping it over his phoenix tattoo. And out came his sword. Tenten was overwhelmed at the elegance of the blade. She looked at the blade, it had a black sheath, with flames dancing around it from the bottom to the top. A guard that looked like spread wings of some sort of bird, then the hilt was covered in red and black cloth with some yellow and orange being in the red. She was absolutely loving the blade and asked, "Can we spar? Please, we could have a Kenjutsu only fight. But Tenten, I haven't mastered the Fenikusu Gakido no Sutansu yet. How about after I get better, I'll come find you, okay?" Naruto said, taking back his kodachi, and tied it to his hip, using a red sash. Tenten pouted while Neji asked what he was doing here. I was just passing through. Actually, I have no idea what I want to do. Oh yeah, I came to train, and then I met you guys. Naruto said sheepishly. Neji just said, "Well then it was fated that you got lost and met us." Naruto was confused. What? I don't think fate is a part of my life. Fate is everywhere. Everything is decided by fate. Neji continued to talk. And Naruto was starting to get annoyed. Look, Neji, there is no such thing as fate. Everything isn't decided. We all have a choice in everything we do. Naruto calmed down and said, "Alright, I had a long day, I'm going to sleep." Tenten looked at her watch and said, "But it's only 4:23 p.m. Why go to sleep? And plus you didn't tell us the other seals you have on yourself." Tenten asked, confused. "Okay, you got me. The other one is my Go Ringu Yoso Fuin on the palm of my hand. And the Jirioku Fuin in the middle of my chest. Can I leave now?" Naruto said, looking at a couple of trees behind him. "Naruto, can you sense them?" Guy asked, referring to the Anbu passing through the training grounds, checking for suspicious activity. "Sense who, Guy sensei?" But Guy didn't answer and continued looking at Naruto, watching him and waiting for his answer. Naruto, sensing that everybody was looking at him, he answered with a nod. And left the clearing in a blue flaming tornado. "Dang, Guy sensei, can you do that?" Tenten asked her teacher, and he replied with a no. Before yelling, "Yash Naruto's flame of youth are truly burning, with intense flames of youth." Neji and Tenten's sweat dropped at the weird phrase. With Naruto. This time Naruto was walking in the village. He had nowhere to go, except get his ninja photo took, and he didn't feel like getting it now, but seeing no other choice he headed towards the Hokage tower. Walking in the streets during the day was so boring, with the same glares and looks of hatred being thrown at you. And like always he glared back, scaring them with his now red eyes. Smirking at them, he entered the tower and walked towards the room where the Hokage and other ninja would be taking the photos. When he entered, he only seen a cameraman and the Hokage. The cameraman spoke, "Is this the kid?" "Yeah, this is the last rookie ninja to get his photo taken." The two just watched as Naruto went and sat down. "Alright, let's get this thing over with." But the Hokage noticed his eyes and asked what happened to them. "I don't know, Hokage-sama, but they are the result of this sword," Naruto said, holding the hilt of his sword. "Sword? Where did you get that?" "Never mind, let's just get this picture taken. So I can go do my work." Naruto chuckled at Hokage actually wanting to do work, and looked at the camera and got completely serious, causing his eyes to go from red to dark crimson, scaring the cameraman in the process. The picture was taken and Naruto got his height, weight, registration ID, birthday, age, gender, village affiliations, and rank. Leaving his team blank, put into a book. Naruto was confused about the team slot being blank but shrugged his shoulders, and left the room. Well, he tried to when the Hokage asked him to follow him to his office. In the office, the Hokage asked Naruto to sit down, and as he sat down, the Hokage told him that he was sorry about how he has been treating him for his life, but that he still hated him for his now red eyes. And that he had a surprise for him, tomorrow. "What kind of surprise, Hokage-sama?" Naruto said, glaring at him. The Sandaime just smiled and said, "The best kind of surprise I can give you." The Sandaime then waved his hand, dismissing him from the office. Naruto, not liking how he was dismissed, left with one last glare before, body flickering out, in a flash of blue lighting. "I just hope that none of them gets killed on accident. If what Kakashi says is true, then the fight is going to attract a lot of attention, but I'm going to be the first one there." With Naruto, again. Naruto appeared on top of his shack behind the Hokage faces. Thinking about what Sarutobi just told him. "Akane, what do you think he was talking about? Akane, hello. Where are you at? She's not talking to you because of the whole sunset thing." Jigoku said. "What, she's blaming me for that?" Naruto thought incredulously. "It wasn't my fault. How the hell was I supposed to know they were going to hug and make a killer sunset like that? It was to my understanding that you were warned, before it happened." Jigoku said, going through his memory just before the sunset hit. Flashback. Quick look away. Neji yelled. Release flashback. But it was still too late for me, come on, I suffered too. Naruto said, dispelling the remaining shadow clones, finding the jutsus complete and ready for action. So he did hand seals and held out his hand, calling, Futon, Uzu no Ken. A vortex appeared around his arm but not slicing the skin, before gathering in his palm and going around his fist. He tried it again with his other arm but found that it was harder to control without the seals, and ended up with some cuts, before ending the jutsu. Alright, one fist is enough for now, he said as he ran to a tree and punched it, causing the spot where he punched it to immediately turn to sawdust and the rest of the tree to converge in the middle before bursting outward, sending tree bits everywhere. Ah, perfect, he said, wobbling a little, at the amount of chakra it took to do all of that. He recovered a second later and walked to the waterfall, and did hand seals, before yelling Sweden, Hadoraden no Jutsu. The water rose, forming a hydra and a total of 5 heads. He sent it into the air and made it come down again, saying, Katsu, causing the hydra's heads to split and have 5 separate water dragons. Then he said Mizu no Dongan, and each of them fired a water bullet at different trees before crashing into them, causing a lot of destruction and water to go everywhere in an explosion. Multiple trees were uprooted by the water and Naruto was sent flying into the water and skidded on the water before righting himself with chakra. Woo, that's destructive. Ooh, I really love shadow clones. Naruto said, sitting cross-legged on top of the water and summoning a shadow clone. Alright clone, I have to train with my sword, so let's do this. Naruto said, jumping out of the way of the clone's surprise slash with his sword. Naruto unsheathed his sword and charged the clone and engaged in a duel of the blades. Slash, parry, duck, jump slash, jump back, charge stab, substitute. That is what he and the clone were doing, before they locked swords and fighting for dominance. The original kicked the clone and jumped back and got into a stance and said, Seisho no Shisei Kyuke hu no Mai, and charged at the clone before illusions of him spread around the clone before the clone was slashed by the illusions. He was trying to block them but they literally went through his guard and slashed his body. They were light cuts but cuts nonetheless. He was then kicked out of the water by the original when the dance ended. And he knew if he didn't have as much chakra as he did he would have dispelled long ago. The clone got up and charged back onto the water and engaged in another battle of the blades with his creator. The original was getting pushed back by the ferocity of the clone, before he sidestepped and sent another kick, this time launching the clone in the air, got into another stance and said, Ni banmi no sutansu tonhu no mai. He jumped into the air and proceeded to give the clone multiple cuts in the air. These cuts were a little heavier than the first, but it gave nearly a maximum amount of pain as a full cut. The clone was then launched sideways, still in the air, and was hit by a ghost-like image of a flying phoenix, and yet the pain was real, causing him to dispel in a cloud of smoke. Naruto sighed and floated down to the water, landing softly, thanks to his wind manipulation. I don't know whether I should be angry or annoyed at my clone's disappearance at the last move, but judging from its memories I think I should be glad that I learned these moves so well, am I right, Jigoku? Naruto said, sheathing his sword and sealing it in his arm. That's right, Naruto, a little more training with the stances and you'll be ready for the next stance. Congratulations, by the way, you're learning very fast. Naruto thanked him and looked at the night sky. That was a great fight. I guess I should get some rest and get ready for whatever the Hokage has planned for me. What do you think he has planned for you anyway? Akane surprised him with her sudden question. Hey Akane, so you're finally talking to me, huh? Did you get tired of talking to Jigoku or something? Naruto thought. Actually, yeah, I did. Hey, what is that supposed to mean? But he did tell me what happened today, and I like to say great job on the Kitsune High. Your affinity for fire is very high, to be able to have mastered it to this extent. Akane praised, causing Naruto to slightly blush. Ah, it was nothing, I did have a very nice teacher to teach it to me. And don't forget. Oh yeah, and, Akane, I never seen your human form now that I think about it. What's up with that? I've been in my mind how many times and I never seen that form. Naruto thought, arriving at his apartment, walking in and starting the shower, and 30 minutes later walked out, and got dressed in a pair of plain black boxers, black sweatpants, and a dark red muscle shirt. After drying his hair, he got into bed and went to sleep, going into his mind to confront Akane, personally.